of our vessels that are transiting the course on the south side of the shoreline. Up here on turn 4, what appears to be a 10-top flew into the water and sank or submerged. We're here looking for it. They want to keep an eye out for it too, so it doesn't happen to drift out into the radar. South side, Kennewick side.
PACOM having the same output. Hey sir, are y'all able to see the ops booths over there at all? heard yet.
This is one of the great moments in the Columbia Cup each year. The noses are starting to tip out toward the center of the river. We are 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. 5 minutes from the start. And I say it every year, it's the same thing, but you got to see it to believe it. All this color is going to come away from the dock. JMK is going to come first. Then it is going to be Bert Henderson. Down at the far end, the next boat is going to be Brian Perkins. Then it is Jimmy Shane.
Coming out now.
They're kind of coming out a couple at a time here, so not as a group. And interesting as we've seen it before, guess who's just sitting at the dock?
Andrew Tate.
That would be the Tater. He's just sitting at the dock. He hasn't even tried to fire it up. Seen it many, many times before. Let everybody go out and start fighting for things. Kevin, gotta look good. A lot of color right now.
Oh, it is gorgeous. The two red boats have gone by. Now we get the Home Street Blue boat. Plus the red, white, blue, Graham Trucking America Dream, followed by the 99.9 Perkins, who's having to try to maneuver his way through some wake. And then the green, white, and red Oberto is now getting up to Tire Factory Turn 2. Still looking at Andrew Tate at the dock.
And Brad, we should touch on the success of the new Home Street hull that debuted here a year ago just for testing. That's just kind of run roughshod through the H1 fleet ever since it came out on the Columbia River. Just to test.
Here
And
comes Andrew.
Tate is up and on plane.
And again, just like he did last year, he just comes right up the dock row and hasn't even turned right. Now he does to come over and say hello to Kevin.
He is taking a hard right to get up right on the buoy line.
He sure is, as everybody else is coming down behind him at 3 minutes and 15 seconds to the start.
JMK in 1, Shane in 2, at least for now. Bert Henderson's on the outside as they head to Agri-Service turn number 1.
The interesting thing will now be about what is the timing. Tate has to get his timing now.
Cutting across the ESCO Electric infield.
Yep, that'll be Jeff Bernard coming across the infield.
In the bright Oberto Super Salami, the 1918 to the front stretch. Meanwhile, Andrew Tate is on a slow trip down the back stretch.
And let's see who, if anybody, cuts across from back to front.
240.
It's a bit early to do that, but
You could do a double cut.
you could try. Then you really get, I think, behind the eight ball if you do the double cut.
Well, and if you do a double cut, you pretty much have to do a triple cut because you'd have to go. No, seriously, you'd have to come to the front.
Yeah.
Then you'd have
The entrance pin. Jeff's heading towards the. Oh, Jeff's cutting the course to come to the front straightaway now.
Across.
Watch
Okay.
that 2-minute mark at the start-finish line, 2:15.
And J. Michael Kelly's going to follow. They have jumped through the ESCO Electric infield.
All right, so it's what is your mark, Brad, down to turn 130?
You don't want to be down here at 130. And it's 2:04 right
so
now.
Bernard in 1,
2 minutes.
J. Michael Kelly in 2, Tate in 3. Where's that going to leave Shane and the
Well,
rest of the group? They're just
By Cat. He's right on here, about 3 boat lengths back.
If they want to have a shot at him, get him out to lane 4.
Oh, look at this maneuver coming down the front straightaway. Who is that? The third boat coming down. Is that Tate?
Perky, you're outside. These guys are all packing up in here. We're a pretty tight minute 40.
Just about to this buoy at 135.
Yep, he did it on the backstretch too when there was nobody around him. So
Yep.
right now,
130 right now, they hit the buoy.
you've
And
got
so,
Bernard to the inside, Kelly next to him on lane 2.
watch their speed.
the one, and Tate in lane 3. Will anybody cut across?
Nope.
Nope.
They're all coming down.
They're all the way down.
So it looks like the first 3 lanes have been claimed.
Yeah,
And I'm not-
look at how slow they're going,
I'm
though.
not seeing
Watch
any
the speed warning.
Strobe lights. I'm trying to keep an eye on that.
4, 3.
And look at Andrew
1
Tate's
minute.
going back and forth like a NASCAR driver warming up his tires.
He's just trying to scrub off time.
He is.
We got a couple of two pairs of boats coming up after them. With looks like the 99.9 with Brian Perkins. I see Bert Henderson there.
Yeah, Shane's going to settle in lane number 4 outside of Tate. Tate's still doing that S-curve out there back and forth, trying to save himself some time and keep up the speed. Perkins outside of Shane, then you
30
got
seconds.
Henderson. Inside, Jeff Bernard, the Super Salami, has lane number 1. We haven't heard any radio chatter about
20.
any possible speed problems, at least for now. It's the HAPO Columbia Cup finale, and our special thanks to our title coverage from Farmers Exchange on News Radio 610 KONA and 610KONA.com. 10 seconds. They come off turn number 4, Buffalo Brothers. On the inside, Bernard. Then you've got J. Michael Kelly, Andrew Tate, Jimmy Shane, Perkins, and Henderson. And on the inside, it's going to be J. Michael Kelly with the lead coming down the front stretch. Henderson with boat speed on the outside.
Good look at 5 boats. Start 6 boats. They're coming 6 wide to the corner. First one down here is JMK.
And he is flying that boat around the turn. Jimmy Shane is way outside. Now he's in the tail of Andrew Tate, and he is way off pace.
That's it. Roll. Lane 2, go. 4 on the inside guy. Let's go. Get out. Lane 2. Go.
5 laps to do it, Kevin. J. Michael Kelly way out in front now, but you can see Andrew Tate trying to catch him on the outside, inside the rooster tail, just outside of him, as they come around to turn number 3. Rattlesnake Mountain in the backdrop as they get to Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 to the exit pin. J. Michael Kelly in lane number 2 has the lead. It's Andrew Tate outside of him on the right side in second place, and Bernard in the Oberto Super Salami in third place as they come across the Bosch Thermador Appliance start-finish line after lap number 1. Down the front stretch, it's J. Michael Kelly with the lead. Tate challenging. Look at Tate fly that boat down the front stretch.
Really flying, and he's back about 4 boat lengths, but that's going to be the race out front, Kevin.
Boy, Kelly is bouncing off the water in the turns. Tate a little smoother, and he is now within a half a rooster tail of that 12, flying down the backstretch, walking the sponsons as Bert Henderson trying to catch up on Bernard for third. Jimmy Shane currently in 5th.
Yeah, Shane is in 5th. He's trying to make his way through the pack, but he's got traffic in front of him. Up to the race leaders. We'll watch Andrew Tate as they get into number 3, turn 3. Freedom Equipment Rentals. It's J. Michael Kelly on the inside and the Graham Trucking, the 12, with the lead as they come around to the exit pin of turn number 4. Tate has fallen off the pace a little bit around the top end of the course.
It's just you two. A good start. In the water.
And now, Bert Henderson in 4th, and then you've got Jimmy Shane in 5th place. Tate is trying to challenge coming down the front stretch, but J. Michael Kelly's on the inside as they get to Agri-Service turn number 1.
This is unbelievable boat racing. These guys are flying. It is Kelly, and then it is Tate, and it's about 2 boat lengths between them.
Kelly,
I'm going inside.
maybe lane 2. He is flying about a 3/4 of a rooster tail lead, trying to walk those sponsons and keep that boat light, as his Tate.
Watch Shane, he just went to the inside.
Ooh, Shane just cut to the inside, so maybe he can get around Bernard in the Super Salami.
Okay, we're keeping the course big on him. Keep it big in the turns.
In front of him, but at least he's on the inside now. He's got the short course.
He has
up
a
to
chance
the
to
top.
take over 3rd place coming up the back stretch, up to the top end of the course, the west end. And at the exit pin of turn number 4, it's going to be J. Michael Kelly still with a half rooster tail lead. Andrew Tate tries to reel him in as they come across the start-finish line now and down the front stretch. I don't know that Tate's going to be able to catch him. He gives him a run down the straightaway, but then J. Michael Kelly pulls away through the turn.
Kelly is down here now, and you are right, Michael McDonald. He has opened up water. He's got about 7 boat lengths coming to you.
And he's taking it out wide to force Tate even farther around the course as they get up to the backstretch, and he's now got a rooster tail lead as they head up on the Pasco side. Tate flying the boat well out of the water as they try to get some speed.
Now we've got a race for 3rd place, and it's Henderson.
Henderson on the outside with the Oberto and Bernard on the inside. Shane back into the middle between those two, and it's the Oberto with the lead going up the backstretch. Shane, I think he's just in that tunnel. He can't do anything.
Through this corner real good. Mike took him out to about lane 4, so if you can put it on the pinch, you should be pretty good.
Up to the top end of the course, and I don't think Tate's going to be able to catch J. Michael Kelly. The white flag is out for the HAPO Columbia Cup. He's walking it back and forth. It's the 12, Graham Trucking, coming down the front stretch with J. Michael Kelly. Can Tate give him a run on the final lap? We'll find out as they head into Agri-Service turn number 1.
This is it. This is the final time around. Can Kelly hold him off one more time? Kevin, he's got him by almost a full rooster tail. Bring our leader around.
And he is wide out there in front, lane 2, flying the boat. Tate trying with everything he's got, but he's being forced out too far, and now Kelly flying down the backstretch. Tate, a full rooster tail behind.
Almost a rooster tail and a half. Tate's trying to climb back into it, but he is run out of real estate. Watch.
Get him here. This is it. There you go. Good turn.
Inside, Henderson on the outside.
Shane has moved to the inside to try to get some short distance, but it's Bernard right now, but Henderson flying up the back. Looks like he's gaining a little bit. He's within about a half a rooster tail, if not less, for 3rd.
Checkered flag is out for our race leader, J. Michael Kelly, the 12, Graham Trucking, coming across.
It is you, Andy. Nice job.
Now to take the HAPO Columbia Cup, Andrew Tate in the 1, Delta Real Track, takes second place. The battle for third continues with Jimmy Shane with the inside lane. We've got 3 boats at the top end of the course. Jimmy Shane's on the inside. Bernard is in lane number 2. Henderson's outside, and it's going to be Jimmy Shane out of nowhere to take third place. Bernard will come in 4th, Henderson in 5th.
Man, I couldn't hold that fucking corner. To move out to get burned, I was just stuck in the
Third place.
They were up there so early, and then I got back in the slump, had nowhere to go.
Water to run in. J. Michael Kelly able to come down that front stretch on lap number 1 as we started the race in lap number 1, and in lane number 2 he was able to get around Bernard in the Oberto, and he had clear sailing from then on out. Perkins crossed the start finish line, and also Corey Peabody in the 98 Graham Trucking across the start finish line. So everybody gets points, everybody started, everybody finished, and that was one heck of a final race for the HAPO Columbia Cup. A1 pit reporters, they've got a job to do as we hear from our winners and everybody that was battling for the big trophy after a great weekend of racing.
What do you do when Daddy wins?
Hold up your fingers. Here, I'll take those. Hold up your fingers.
Do it.
Thank you.
Great interview there.
I made up for Madison.
You heard Mike right there. He said he made up for Madison. I know he felt bad about that. And that had to do with timing marks. But Madison's in the rearview mirror right now. You are the winner of the 2019 HAPO Columbia Cup. And I got a hunch you want to say something about your crew, because you kept saying, I got to get more speed. I've got to get a better boat ride. At the end of the day, you had it all.
Oh man, I'm just so honored to even get to do this, and I can't say enough about these guys. We've really been struggling, and you know, we've had a good boat, but we just haven't been able to get over that hump. And you know, there's no give. These guys don't give up, and they told me they would figure it out, and sure enough, I mean, each time we went out there, we got faster and faster, and I drove my heart out for those guys. They are the ones that bust their butt in this heat and blood and sweat, and I get to go do the fun part and go race a boat at 200 miles an hour. I had an amazing time this week, and it was some of the most fun I've had in a long time racing. I had some great deck-to-deck battles with these guys, and that's how it should be every single time.
What does this do for the team and the morale? Because I know you didn't get what you wanted back east, but this one's a big one on the schedule. You got it. What does it do for the morale?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, we just beat the fastest boat on the circuit. And then you throw in the U1, the other Madison boat, Oberto, and of course, you know, the list goes on with the 7, and you know, our other boat made it out in the final 2, so to go out there and compete with these guys and be able to beat them, that's awesome.
And you couldn't see it because you had a right side rear view mirror that was pretty full of Mr. Tate. But behind them, they came off that upper corner 3 wide, deck to deck for third place. It was really close.
So I could see him in my mirror the whole time, and I just was hoping I could get around the corners clean. I knew if I had one hiccup, I could be getting passed on the outside. But man, what a boat ride. It's so fast, and it's been a while since I felt that, so it's pretty cool.
Did you have a killer combination in your back pocket that you knew you were going to throw at them all weekend?
We just been throwing stuff at it all weekend. It didn't, I mean, whatever these guys put at it, it's got faster each time. So you know, I just can't say enough about these Graham Trucking guys. Rob Graham for giving me the opportunity, and you know, we're fortunate to have his son Troy here taking care of us and keep an eye on us. And you know, of course, all my crew, Tom Anderson, you know, everybody, my wife for allowing me to do this, and of course my biggest critic, my 10-year-old, always wondering why I don't win races, and well, he'll leave me alone tonight.
Well, congratulations. You talked about your crew. There's some fans on about, but you talked about your crew. I think you've got a nice reward for them because they get that tree next year and they get all that lovely shade on that dark red boat.
No, they so deserve it. I'm so happy.
Mike, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Great job. You're the champion. 2019 HAPO Columbia Cup. J. Michael Kelly. Sounds good.
Thank you. Oh, that's awesome.
Shake this guy's hand. Jeff Dahl, thank you.
And there was another song that was going through my head, and that was Dan Hill, Sometimes When We Touch. And that was the question.
Mike.
Did they touch in turn 2?
But sometimes can you handle it because the honesty is too much?
Let's go down to Brad Luce and Craig West and all the crew, Jeff Ayler. Yeah, good morning.
Jeff Ayler and the whole crowd. We're all down here. Good morning, guys.
Dude.
Good morning, Mr. Ayler.
So the discussion, and I must admit, I watched it a few times on the YouTube channel with H1.
And?
It sure looked like they touched. And everybody says, well, then you'd see paint. And it's like, well, they're both white.
They were both white. I also, one of the thoughts that I had when I did the same thing you did, I went home and watched it over and over again. Maybe they would have contacted up front, but also maybe toward the non-trip in the back. It got very, very close. If they didn't touch, it would have been a coat of paint short. But when I ran down to the boat yesterday, I didn't see any marks on it. So, man, I think we dodged a big bullet. If they did hit, well, they just barely hit, and it could have been a whole lot worse than it was. But everybody came through okay, and it was a tremendous Heat 1A for our H1 Unlimited yesterday.
Yeah. The one thing I will say is every time that I did rewatch it, I had the same reaction. It just took my breath away.
Right. The way those camera angles are coming up, absolutely. You know, that'll be a foregone conclusion, though, about 2 hours from now. I mean, it's great to have in the memory banks, but for the most part, you know, we're on to a day of racing. We got stuff to do. People got some points to win. We got some champions to crown. We got another air show to entertain the faithful with. Championship Sunday, we move, we shake, we get with the program, Mike.
And a lot of storylines to follow as Jamie Nielsen in the 11 Legend Yacht Transport Trust Company regains the national points lead.
And that's the story of the 2023 season thus far. You just can't predict who's the favorite. You know, there is consistency across the board with some of the boats, some of the teams, but I'm telling you, I haven't seen parity in the sport like this with the number of boats we have in a long, long time, and it's just fascinating to see. And Brad was talking about this yesterday. When it goes by the fans, certain segments of the river, and there's basically, you know, half of a boat length between the two, the fans just erupt with, yes, this is why we come down to the shores of Benton and Franklin counties to check out this action, and maybe that is supreme action.
Let's head over to Tire Factory turn number 2 and AJ Brewster. The one thing that AJ and I were talking about before the race, same thing that you can see on the Blue Bridge now. Look at the flag. It is taut. It is windy.
You know, maybe we shouldn't have been talking about the wind yesterday, Mike.
Yeah, it happens, doesn't it?
It does. You talk about it and it shows up. I'm over here in Tire Factory turn 2. I'll call it the topless tent corner, because I've had a lot of people walk up to me already this morning and ask me how the wind is going to affect the races this morning and throughout the day. And there's a little concern with people wondering how this is going to work out. So let's answer those questions for them.
Yeah, and it depends on the direction of the wind, Brad Luce. And then there's kind of a unspoken 18-mile-an-hour wind kind of dividing line, I guess, for safety.
Yeah, it's definitely going to have an effect, but the drivers, I say this all the time, but these are the absolute best hydroplane drivers in the world. That's why they drive the world's fastest race boats. We've had a couple of boats out on the water already this morning. They've felt it. They'll check it each time they come out. A breeze like we have blowing right now is altogether different from a breeze blowing like we have it right now with big gusts mixed into it. It's the gusts we've got to stay away from. If it's a constant breeze, they can handle it and we can race in it and the guys will be fine. It's that big gust we got to worry about.
Special thanks on our broadcast today to Sun Pacific Energy and our Shell Sun Market stores made the stop this morning to grab a bag of ice, grab and go.
There you go. On the move. It's Mike's favorite. You know, he loves the businesses.
The people are friendly. It's clean. And you know what? They have great grab-and-go breakfast snacks, too, at your Shell Sun Market stores. All Doors Incorporated, along with Tire Factory, White's Finished Furniture, and Hardwoods. Buffalo Brothers, best bands on the circuit, down to turn number 4. Clover Island Inn, Esco Electric, also Broadmoor RV, American Radiator, Anderson Dental, Legends Casino, Coleman Oil, Bob's Burgers and Brew, All City Transmission, Griggs, Thornworks. Oh, the list goes on.
Yes, it does.
So, the other list that I wanted to get to, and after we were watching YouTube on the big screen at home last night, amazing work from the H1 Unlimited broadcast team. Tate Meyer, Matt Johnson, Tanner True, Nick Kish, Jared Meyer, Gio Belcito, along with Tim Johnson, Lisa Cornier, Brian Montgomery, Dan Ford, and Walt Otened. Great job, everybody.
You know, you are putting together visuals and ideas, concepts, and angles that, frankly, I have not seen in sports television. So I hope somebody who can pull some strings is watching, because y'all do a fantastic job. And I'll say it again, anytime you have a drone camera that is capturing on the camera lens the mist of the rooster tail coming through the corner, that's something that nobody really ever gets to see until you have the idea, hey, what if we put the drone in the corner and just keep it stationary and catch the rooster tail as it goes by? Yeah, we'll probably get wet, but I wonder what it'll look like. Well, it looks pretty darn cool.
It does look pretty darn cool, and we've worked, and I guess I shouldn't do that, but I kind of did because I am kind of a part of that team. I certainly sit down in all of their meetings that we do almost every Sunday night. I'm glad you read off everybody's name. The live stream team have been working extremely hard. You mentioned one of those camera guys, Gio, and I got him right here on the dock. He's been following me around. When you're watching me on the dock do the interview, it's Gio's making it all happen. Young man, are you having fun?
Oh, absolutely. You gotta love all this stuff.
So tell us a little bit about you and your background. How is it you got involved with Tate and Jared and this whole live stream team?
Well, that's to make a very long story short. I ran the TV broadcasting, Atomic TV at Richland High School. And my colleague and fellow student, Tanner True, was there to help me there. And it wasn't until then is when Tate was teaching at Hanford High School, helped us out with one stream, and ended up coming to Richland High School, helping us there. And then Tate was like, hey, this is what I do. Got Tanner and I involved, and when the time came around last year, he got Tanner and I to come out here and help, and kind of it. I mean, both Tanner and I have loved being out here helping, being a part of the team, and it's definitely not like high school, but it's...
Well, it wasn't like high school when I went to high school.
Yeah. It's been a blast being able to be out here, especially with the Meyer brothers making all this happen, and everybody else on the H1 team. It's definitely like a huge family, and there's nothing like it.
You just hit the word on the head. It is a big family, and I remember when you and I met a year ago at the test session, and I was so glad to see you show up again this year at the test session, because I thought, well, maybe we didn't scare you away. Are you having a good time with this?
I'm loving every second of this.
And he and I were talking this morning, Mike, making sure I've got the driver facing the right way for those camera angles that you guys were talking about. You didn't hear this, Gio, but the reason I wanted to talk to you when I saw you here was because they were talking, and they listed everybody on the live stream team, and they were talking about the great job all of you were doing, and some of those really, really cool shots that it looks like you're right down at water level of the boats sometimes when they're in the pit area here and getting ready to go out. That's Gio. That's what he's doing. So congratulations, young man. Keep it going. We're having fun.
Thank you. It's a blessing.
There you go. He's a good young man. We have fun down here on the dock.
So H1 Unlimited, you can go to their website, find the link. Also through their Facebook page. They're all over social media, and you can find the live stream of today's actions, all of it. And the camera angles, the drone footage is just absolutely unparalleled.
Whether you're brand new to the sport or an old hand, there are things that you have not seen before. And anytime there's technology that brings the essence and some of the total coolness of the sport to you in a way maybe you've never seen before, that is worth maybe a look or two or some long time.
And for us, when the day's done, it's kind of fun to go back and, recap what happened, really closely examine what happened out there from above and all the different angles that they have from the H1 crew. Really nice job.
So much is happening in real time. It takes like all of our broadcast crew to be able to cover what's going on and try to find the nuances. And many times, we get boats lost in rooster tails constantly.
Yeah, you mentioned with the live stream team, and you mentioned Walt Otenad when you were going through all of those names. Walt's really the one he was a big part of the impetus behind all this, because he is the one who recognized and brought to H1 officially the terrific work that Tate and Jared Meyer were doing back in the day a number of years ago and got this thing started. And then I tipped the cap to H1 Unlimited this off season because they invested in the live stream. We've got new cameras. We traveled this year back to Guntersville and to Madison, Indiana with new people, more people, because they're realizing the value of this. And I'm really glad to hear you point it out. We hear it from stop to stop about how the fans are enjoying some of those new camera angles, because we're getting some great live shots off the drones, but then work like Gio is doing and the other guys. If you can get used to the fact that Nick Kish wears 2 pairs of glasses all the time, you got everything going great with the live stream.
No doubt about it. And the other part is they pair our audio with it, Brad, and that's it's kind of fun to hear our call.
It is. It's a lot of fun. And you said exactly what we're all doing. I went home and found myself a cold adult beverage, sat down, put my feet up, give me the remote. I want YouTube.
1A over and over.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well, it had all been about the bump. And everybody had to see, and so we all watched it, and we still don't know.
Frame by frame.
Let's talk a little bit about heat draw as we get ready for racing. And interestingly enough, in Heat 2A, CO Energy, you've got Jamie Nielsen, the points leader right now. Legend Yacht Transport Trust Company, the 11, along with Dustin Eccles, the Flavor Pack 40. The 3, Griggs Miss Ace Hardware with Jimmy King, and the 91, Goodman Real Estate with Andrew Tate. 2B looks to be kind of fun with Dylan Runny in the 1, Home Street, along with Corey Peabody in the 9, Beacon Plumbing. Sometimes when we touch. JMK, J. Michael Kelly in the 8, Beacon Electric, and the 12, Graham Trucking with Bobby King. Isn't that amazing?
It's the honesty. It's just too much. Both should be competitive, and let's hope we get some deck-to-deck racing. That's what the fans are looking for. You know what I thought yesterday? All of the good sportsmanship and the camaraderie in the pits. That's not what Dave Vilwalk would do. No, Vilwalk would take advantage of these youngsters who believe that, not to put a little pressure on them is not a good thing. Come on, we got to indoctrinate the rooks, don't we?
Incarcerate.
Sorry. keep them in water jail.
It's an interesting draw. Jeff Ayler and I were talking about it on the way down here this morning. Obviously, you've got Jimmy King in 2A. They need some points. They came out of here with that goose egg, Jeff Ayler. That's what you and I always talk about, that first section of heats. And what do you call them? You call them the building blocks.
Well, I got it from my friend at WRX back home, Tim Torrance. That first heat, that is your building block of the weekend. And right now, the Griggs presents Miss Ace Hardware down on points after that engine failure yesterday. But I spoke to the team this morning. A new turbocharged Allison has been inserted into the U3. They'll be ready for 2A. But team, who would have thought coming into the second stanza at 10 o'clock, the Legend Yacht Transport with some racing luck and driving skill, not without question to win 2 heats in a row here at the Columbia Cup.
I think with and the fact the way Jamie got that first win yesterday was, and it's the way I called it, and I was anxious to see the replay last night to see if what I called or what I thought I saw was indeed what happened, and that was that Jamie nailed another start like he did in Madison. He was there. He was on time. Yes, he had Dustin Eccles inside of him. Dustin had the inside, but he was back just a touch. And Jamie, I thought, did an outstanding job of just pinning Dustin in there. He wouldn't let him out. And finally, coming down at the beginning of lap 3, Dustin just pulled his foot, dropped back, and moved to the outside. You know, basically, no mas. I can't run you down. He, Jamie Nielsen, legally had pinned him in there, and that's what you do. That's how you drive these things. When you have the advantage, you use it. I look for Dustin Eccles to take that flavor pack on the outside, Jeff Ayler, and wind it up and see if he can drive around Jamie.
I think that's a good prediction for Dustin Eccles in the flavor pack, but a boat that came in here, one of the favorites for the Columbia Cup that needs points in 2A, is the Goodman Real Estate right now with only 169 racing points combined with their qualifying points. They're down in points as well, and Andrew Tate out of Canton, Michigan. The Miss Madison Racing second boat, they need to score well because they'd like to go in with a lot of points to see how the third section draws out.
American Radiator pit reporters Brad Luce and Jeff Ayler. Special thanks to AMRAD. Since 1979, keeping you cool.
Every stop on the series this year, we're going to see a tribute, Scott, to the late Bernie Little, Mr. Hydroplane Racing. The one here was particularly impressive because we had 3 vintage Miss Budweisers on the water at the same time, 1967, 1981, and the current version. Really a nice picture. You drove for the man, didn't you?
I sure did. I drove for Bernie a few different times. I drove an 86 for him, 90 I was a backup driver and a test driver for him, and then was fortunate enough to drive for him in 1991 and win the World Championship. And I knew Bernie since I was 11 years old. He was a good friend of my father's, and he was very, very instrumental in my life, and he touched a lot of people's lives, and he is sorely missed. I'm with Joe Little, the son of the legendary Bernie Little. And what are you doing here, Joe?
Well, I've got talked into taking a little ride in one of my father's old boats, and going to take a few laps and see if we can have a little fun.
Joe, what'd you think of that?
Well, I tell you what, you don't realize what you're getting into until you get out there. And the noise, the heat, the speed is fantastic. And he's going into the turn, and I'm kind of looking at him like, I hope he's going to slow down a little bit. And then, but that's great. I tell you what, you turn around, look at the rooster tail, great feeling.
More unlimited hydro action from the Tri-Cities after this. We are back on the Columbia River, Tri-Cities, Washington. It's the final heat, the winner-take-all final of the 2003 Budweiser Columbia Cup. It's a battle for lanes, Scott Pierce, and that battle is going to be all important. Boats like the Lumar window film, Mark Evans, our top point getter on the weekend, certainly capable of winning if he can get the inside. Mitch Evans, the same thing with a piston-powered U3. Nate Brown has a fast boat, the Elam Plus. Dave Vilwalk, Miss Budweiser. Any of those 4 who can capture lane 1 can control this thing through the first turn. So the milling that's going on already with more than 3 minutes to the start is very important.
Well, the drivers know that they need to have the inside in this race. This is 6 of the fastest boats in the world, and they're going to be very, very intent on that. You're going to see half the field cut through the center and try to block off the guys that are on the regular course, and there are rules to defend against that. So you see Dave Vilwalk is cutting through the infield as we speak. He's trying to put position on the Elam boat is what he's doing right this second.
We never see Dave Vilwalk run a complete lap during the milling period. He always turns into the infield before he gets to the turn. Now he'll go up the back straight a ways and turn into the infield again. It kind of gives you control, I guess, of the inside if you stay inside of everybody.
Well, that and it cuts the course in half, and so it's much easier to make your timing mark, Steve, if you're only running half the course. Because if you get caught in a bad spot, you know, it takes a couple minutes to get around this thing, and so if you cut it in half, you can make your marks a lot quicker.
We are about 2.5 minutes from the start now. A lot of boats coming through the infield, and we'll see how they shake out when they get to the front straightaway. They are too early, aren't they, Scott, to stay there and go clear around. We're going to have to see some more scraping off of time here.
Actually, the fellas that are in the back chute right now can come around, do one more lap, and that's probably what their strategy is going to be, is to go through the infield. I mean, they're going every which way. It looks like a demolition derby at this point.
Vilwalk turned through a rooster tail to get into the infield. Now Nate Brown is taking the Elam in. It looks like Mike Weber in the Grand Central Casino might want to just park it in lane 1 and plow water all the way around. Is he late enough that he can do that, Scott? He's got to go awfully slow.
He's going to have to go very, very slow, but that's how those Weber boys learned how to drive in Detroit. That's the way they do it. Us West Coast guys, we never did it like that. We tried to keep the boat speed up, and, you know, we'll see whose strategy works best, but there's a couple guys thinking about parking their boats.
We're going to see how it works out for Mike Weber, who is already on the backstretch, moving very slowly in the U10, the Grand Central Casino. Now, coming up behind him is Mark Evans in the bright yellow Lumar. Terry Troxel is going to go across the infield and join the boats over there.
But he was too late. He let Dave Vilwalk on the inside of him, Steve, and I think Vilwalk's going to control the inside if he can deal with the U10.
Vilwalk was lost in the rooster tail from our vantage point as he went through the infield, but he does pop out into lane 2. That's going to put him inside most of the contenders in this field. Nate Brown goes scooting up through there in the Elam, but I think he's out in about lane 3. I believe that was the first opening he had. So it looks like it's going to be Mike Weber in the U10 maintaining the inside. If Vilwalk is right next to him in the Budweiser, he'll certainly have a shot at controlling this thing. Off to his right, he has, boy, they're going slow now, Scott.
Well, they're actually off a plane. There are rules for that, but they're all doing it, so they can't disqualify all of them.
Off to Vilwalk's right, he has Nate Brown in the Elam now picking up the rooster tail just a little bit. Mark Evans is way back. He may be making a run at it in the yellow boat, the Lumar window film.
I don't think he has a lane, no. Mitch Evans is going to get hung on the outside of this deal.
So Mitch will take his piston power way to the outside. They turn toward us now. Mike Weber still on the inside, so if he's not too early, his strategy will have worked. Vilwalk is back a little in the Budweiser at 1,000 feet. As they come down to start, he's going to be back a bit, but he'll have boat speed at start if he has timed it well. Here they come. The third boat out appears to be bright orange. That's Nate Brown's Elam Plus. It's a legal start. The start was good. Nobody over the line too early. The leaders as they go into the first turn are the Budweiser in lane 2 and the Lumar in lane 4. Everybody into the turn. The O'Doul's eye in the sky showing you the action down there. It was wild and woolly, and the Budweiser came out on top, Scott. A great first turn for Dave Vilwalk.
Yeah, but look at Mike Weber in the U10. He is really doing a heck of a job. He is hanging right with Dave, and he has inside position on him.
Budweiser is not pulling away from the boat to his left. Mike Weber is giving it everything the yellow and blue boat has, and right now from our angle has pulled up beside the Budweiser. So watch this second turn. The leader at the apex is Mike Weber in the U10. Everybody else, the entire field, is in the rooster tails of those two boats as they come out of the west end of the course. The two boats leading are on the inside, Mike Weber in the U10, Dave Vilwalk in the Budweiser, or did he get back a bit? That's Mark Evans. It's Mark Evans in the yellow boat who has taken the lead. Vilwalk got in trouble in that turn, Scott. It's way at the other end of the race course from us, but he lost some ground in there. Our leader right now is Mark Evans in Bill Wurster's brand new U8 Lumar. When they came toward us head on, we thought it was the Budweiser, but Evans had snuck his boat out into the lead, and now he has almost a rooster tail lead on Mike Weber.
Well, there was a lot of water down there because there was a boat that went dead, and it's just coming off of turn 4 now, and I believe that's a trend west with Terry Troxel. So somebody got wet down there, and I think Dave Vilwalk was a victim of that also.
Now we got a great boat race with about 1 3/4 laps in the books. Mark Evans doing a great job of driving in the second turn. Got his yellow boat out ahead. He went by the first and second place boats in that turn. It was wild and woolly up there, and he came out the leader. Now he comes down to finish lap 2. Mark Evans having a great weekend. He came into this heat leading in points, just a couple ahead of his brother, and now he's showing them the way around the race course, more than a rooster tail lead for Mark Evans in the U8, the Lumar window film, giving chase. Mike Weber is in second place in the U10. Mitch Evans is third with Piston Power. Then it's back to the Budweiser. Budweiser now is running way back.
Fourth, and Budweiser's in fifth. Budweiser's just having a heck of a bad time. He is not enjoying this race at all.
He lost ground on the front straightaway. He's way back on the field now, and our leader is leaving the area. Look at the new yellow boat go, Scott. It's right out of the box and running very, very well.
You know, and they have the least amount of parts to work with of any of these boats in this race, so this is really a testament to the crew.
Right behind him, we have three boats side by side behind the leader going into that turn. They are literally deck to deck racing for second, third, and fourth.
Well, that's the Elam and Nate Brown, and he is making a charge, and they're coming up on a lapper. That's a lapper that's in front of them. Terry Truxell in the Trend West. Oh, somebody got some big time water, big time water.
The leader is okay, though. He has finished 3 laps, and that's the same leader we had last time, the U8. Mark Evans. Boy, look at the speed behind him, though. They are really flying. Evans has his foot to the floor, flying it into the first turn.
Like a little brother. Yeah, little brother's in second, and he's coming for him. He says, I want you, big brother, I want you.
Mitch Evans brings the piston-powered U3 up into second place. He is battling Nate Brown, who almost hooked it in the turn, had to straighten it out a bit and lost some ground, and now a firm second place for Mitch Evans and the U3. A great race back there. Mike Weber was in it a lap ago. He has dropped back a bit, and Budweiser, Dave Vilwalk, not having any luck here. He is running 5th in this heat, in the final heat. Meanwhile, our leader is going to finish another lap. He's up at the west end of the race course. Are you surprised, Scott, at how well the brand new boat from Mark Evans is working here?
Well, yeah, I am surprised because I know their equipment, but that's a Dale Van Weeringen new design boat, and you know, he did the Elam boat, he did this boat, he did the Cooper boat. These things just work great, and it's, you know, I don't know how he got through there. I really missed it, but he is running fantastic.
They have finished 4 laps. There is 1 to go. The first 3 boats
side for second.
Are running very, very hard. Mark Evans bringing the Lumar into the turn. Right behind him, brother Mitch racing side by side with Nate Brown in the Elstrom family's Elam Plus. They're at the apex. We're looking down on it from high above. Our O'Douls high in the sky, showing you a couple of great turns right there. They go up the backstretch for the last time, and the crowd cheers as the Piston Power moves up into second place. But that race is not decided. It's going to come down to the wire. The story appears to be over as far as the leader. It looks like Mark Evans is going to win this thing for Bill Worcester. The race is going to be for second place, but this is going to be a very popular victory, Scott, if Mark can hang on and take the checkered flag. He has a half a straightaway to go.
Well, this will be the first win for Bill Worcester and that team since 1990. I'm sure they're just going to be thrilled.
Bill Worcester had his 80th birthday this year. You drove for him when he was much younger, and right now his boat is taking the checkered flag. They are the winners of the Budweiser Columbia Cup in the Tri-Cities, and look at the race for second and third. That was really close from our angle.
I think Nate Brown got second.
Oh, he hops out of the water. He's still running hard. It looked like Nate was just ahead as they crossed the start-finish line. That's as good a final as we've seen for a long time. There was great action, Scott, way at the other end of the race course. A very hairy turn with 4 boats side by side, and Mark Evans somehow stuck the yellow nose of the Lumar out ahead of the field and actually surprised everybody, including us, there for a moment.
Well, I don't know how he got through there, but about 3 guys didn't, and all of a sudden he was in front. It's really, really an exciting race, the best we've seen in a long time, Steve.
So this is the way they finish. The champion of the Budweiser Columbia Cup 2003 is Mark Evans, driving for Bill Worcester in the U8, the Lumar window film. We'll be back to talk to the very, very happy winning camp right after this. The very, very happy winning camp, the Lumar window film.
Right there. Where? Good show, buddy. Good show.
The champion of the Budweiser Columbia Cup 2003 is Mark Evans, driving for Bill Worcester in the U8, the Lumar window film.
A little watery lane. Doing that.
How do you like that stuff? Oh, my God.
Mark Evans with a very happy new wife, Elaine. Drove a whale of a race. Whale of a race.
Oh, man. Way to go, appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Oh, my God.
Mark, you got to tell me, what in the world happened up there in that turn, and how did you get in front?
I laid back, man. There was a bunch of garbage going on. Guys were trying to get the inside lane. I just laid back a little bit and then let her have it.
What happened up there in lap 2 when you jumped to the lead?
Everybody was just piling in there, man, and I just kept the thing straight and true. The crew, thanks to the Cooper family, my brother and the Cooper family gave us a whole bunch of parts. Half the parts on this boat are from Ed Cooper and his family to help us out. But I just drove as straight as I could, true as I could, like old Muncie used to say, and brought her to first place. Can't believe it.
Well,
Congratulations, Bill.
Your brother drove a whale of a race. He got third. Nate was back there going the whole way. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys, you put on, it's probably one of the best boat races we've seen in years.
Well, thank you very much. I'm just so proud to be a part of it. And again, thanks all the sponsors, Lumar, the Sickens Paint people, you know, everybody, every one of the volunteers. We got a lot of volunteers on this crew. Scott Rainey, of course, my wife, man, she's backing me all the way on this. She's new to it, and she's getting used to it real fast.
But that's the first win for Bill Worcester since 1990. I think you might have added 20 years to his life.
Oh, man, well, I hope he doesn't collapse coming down here because he's probably full sprint run from the tower right now. Oh, man.
Congratulations, Mark Evans.
Thanks again, Scotty. Appreciate it. Wow.
It's a big grin on your face. How this one feels.
Mitch Evans, that one turn got a little wild and it was over. Big Brother was ahead.
That's it. Boy, I got in there a little bit late. I had a good run on the outside, and I was praying. I could see that yellow tail feathers through the middle. I said, we got Dave between us, and we can just get him pinched off. Brother's got the shot today.
And then a great race between you and Nate.
Definitely. It was a close one right to the end. Nate got a little inside. I just couldn't get the room I needed to close the door, but great boat race.
Good job. Let's take a look at the Wild West turn from Mitch Evans' point of view. He's way outside in the U3. That is Brother Mark putting up the rooster tail off to his left, and they are in the turn now. That's Terry Troxel. The U2, Trent West, came right through the rooster tail of the U8. He came behind Mark Evans. So the problems were off to the left of that rooster tail. We won't know exactly what happened until we talk to the drivers at the end of the race. But here we'll back it up and show it to you in slow motion. Off to the left of Mitch Evans. Watch for Terry Troxel and the U2, Trent West. Right there, he explodes through the rooster tail. He already has damage on the right side of his boat. That was indeed a wild and woolly turn. Nate Brown is fairly handy here. Nate, what happened up in that turn?
Turn, that was scoring up for the buoy. Scoring up.
Okay. Terry has a hole in his boat. Who hit him?
Terry has a hole in his boat?
Yeah, right there.
Oh, that's not from us. No, we didn't hit Terry.
Who was next to him on the right side?
On the right side? I don't know. I was on his left side.
Okay. Yeah. Well, congratulations on a second place finish while we have you here. It was wild and woolly, wasn't it?
You know, it was a great race. You know, regardless of what happened in the score-up stuff, you know, I mean, Dave was in there, and, you know, there was a lane for me, and I squared up there, and he kind of turned right last minute, and I had no choice either to run over him or bump him, and I decided to squirt and bump him, you know. So it's a tough deal when you have such equal boats, and you have to fight for that inside lane, and the farther in you get, the better advantage you have. And, you know, Dave was able to get the inside from me, but I was able to, in the first corner, kind of fall behind and get inside the other guys, so I was able to get that advantage.
And then a great race with Mitch back there.
Boy, what a race. That piston boat is moving, let me tell you. Those guys did a great job. The Evans brothers, Mark, for winning that race, he's got to be happy. Mitch, it was a great race with him, and, you know, it could have gone either way.
Congratulations on a good second place.
Hey, thanks, you guys.
So this is the way they finish on the day. The big trophy going to Bill Worster and driver Mark Evans, the U8 Lumar window film after a wild and woolly final heat. And to look ahead at the Boat Shopper magazine schedule, we go west to Seattle, the General Motors Cup at Seafair, then back to Detroit for the Gold Cup, and we wrap it up in San Diego on Mission Bay. It is not unusual to have a couple of unhappy drivers after a final heat of unlimited hydroplane racing. We got some sob stories going on in the pits right now, and apparently it got wacky even before the start.
It did. You had 6 guys all going for the same spot. That's not going to work. So they decided to go around. They ran just a pretty clean lap the first lap. Second lap, they just beat and banged, and hey, there's 3 boats tore up in here, and everyone's all upset. But you know what? They all love each other. They'll be back next week.
And a very popular victory for the yellow boat, the U8 Lumar window film. Bill Worster, the owner, Mark Evans, the driver. So that wraps it up. The U8 team takes the big trophy. For Scott Pierce, I'm Steve Montgomery. We'll see you next time.
Welcome back to the Brutsman's Memorial Barge. Michael McDonald joined by Jeff Ayler at the Mosteller start-finish line as we get ready for the Grand Prix America coverage here on 610 KONA. And our thanks to our friends at Coleman Oil providing that special coverage on 610 KONA. Coleman Oil tradition began in 1953. Craigmont, Idaho, is a fuel and oil distributor with Chevron products, and look at how far they've come. GPA, the Grand Prix America Series, the boats that make noise early in the morning on the Columbia River. What perfect conditions. A little bit of a breeze, a little bit of a chop out there. Jeff, how is that going to change the racing, if at all?
Michael, good morning. Right now, from my eye, a little bit of chop, but I think it's very raceable. And Brad Luce hit the key thing this morning, those gusts. That's what we don't want out on the race course, especially in the straightaways, and how the angle of the gust would come in to each turn here on the Columbia River. But my eye right now, we're looking good to go with the Grand Prix America heat number 4. Some technical things to go over. GP 79 reliable diamond tool yesterday went dead in the water in heat number 3. They continue to battle a electrical issue. I understand they feel they have that solved. We'll see how things happen here in heat number 4. The Ice Harbor Brewery presents Rapid Rabbit. Austin Eckert told me the engine mount is fixed. They're ready to go.
Good
the hull
news.
damage on the hammock construction appears to be repaired. Damage on the right back side of the craft. And the veteran Rob Hall will make an appearance. And Michael, fingers crossed, first time of the weekend, we'll have 5 GPAs out on the water. And we've got a tight National High Point Championship battle in the final event for Grand Prix America in 2023, on top with 1,035 points. Your two-time defending GPA champion, Jeff Bernard. In second, 5 points back, Greg Hopp in the Stettner Construction Group with 1,030. Right now, cumulative points for the Columbia Cup, Stettner Construction Group with 395, Reliable Diamond Tool with 290. The Trust Company presents Miss Renee with 135. Ice Harbor Brewery presents Rapid Rabbit with 135. And let's flip-flop. The 7 is actually in 4th, the Hammock Construction with 180. But, Michael, as we know, assigned lanes in Grand Prix America, a good finish whatsoever for Greg Hopp here. He would like a first or a second. But if these boats would tie in points, we would go to a tiebreaker. But the 15 team does not want that to happen, because if it would go to a tiebreaker, they would have had an unfortunate did not finish or did not start in this heat. So Greg Hopp right now, any sort of finish anywhere on the course here in heat number 4, he's in premier prime position for lane number 1 in the Thunder Cup final at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
So what kind of a tiebreaker situation is there should that develop?
They would go by elapsed time with your combined heat race activity here in Tri-Cities.
Well, that's a math problem.
That is a math problem. That's why Alexandra Eckert, our
Takes
Grand
care
Prix
of that.
America scorer, is upstairs. She has all the tabulations. And if we come into a twist, we'll have the master mathematician to my right, Mike Morissette out of Oklahoma. He'll calculate it quickly.
Mike and Tana have been a great assist up here on the Brutsman's Memorial Barge all weekend long.
Aren't they wonderful?
Yeah.
I've been working with them for the past 3 years now, and they're, trust me, they're lifesavers, and I think the world of them. They're wonderful people. They're relatively new to hydroplane racing, and Michael, when I speak to them off the air, they're learning quickly, but this guy to my right's got a lot of great ideas, and we'll see in the future if a lot of them's implemented. I got your back.
We're inside 1 to the 5, it looks like, on our countdown clock for the Grand Prix America heat. And a special thanks to the UA Plumbers and Steam Fitters, Local 598, signatory contractors, Grand Prix Hydroplane Series here at Columbia Cup. Heat number 4, ready to get underway. Then
Looking forward to it.
Then we have opening ceremonies coming up. We'll be joined by Abby Falk, Miss Tri-Cities 2024. A lot of activity up here on the second level of the barge.
Second largest hydroplane class in the world, Grand Prix America, a 24-foot length boat, 12-foot width, 2,700-pound racing vessel. All boats powered by the 468 cubic inch supercharged big block engine. Pops out around 1,400 horsepower. Competition speeds here, Michael, at the end of each shoot, I think we're going to see 145 to 150 miles per hour at the end of each shoot. A 1 2/3 course, 3-lap heats. They get around here very quickly. We're under the 5-minute mark for heat number 4.
And boats are in the water. I know Brad Luce is down in the Lamson pit area, our American Radiator pit reporter. Tech updates brought to you by All City Transmission. Fair, honest, reliable service that puts your mind at ease. Visit them at allcitytrans.com. Brad, what do you see? And as I mentioned that, boats are coming right out, heading over to Tire Factory and our tower in turn 2.
Yeah, they're coming out orange and black. That's Bernard, isn't it?
Yep.
In the front, yeah, looking really good. You know, they're just setting up right now, but he's in first. Then we got the blue, orange, and white boat coming in second. Right.
Truss Company.
Truss Company. And the bright yellow that we've been seeing all weekend. That's a fast boat, too. That's the one that we were talking about that's fast in the straightaways, and because it's a little longer, right, Brad?
Sorry, it was pretty loud down here. I didn't catch your question. If you're looking for the last boat, that would be Greg Hop. He is away from the dock, and then you'll have all 5 of them.
The question was about the yellow boat being a little bit faster on the straightaway because it's longer, right?
Absolutely. It's got that narrow tunnel down the center of it, so they're able to gear that thing and propeller that thing to use that narrow tunnel and that narrow hull because that's their advantage. And it's not so much that that's the big advantage, it's the disadvantage of them being narrower in the corner.
And that's the S12 with Gunner behind the wheel.
But he is up and running. He's away from the dock. You've got all 5 boats on water with 3 minutes and coming up 10 seconds to our start.
Thank you, Brad Luce. All 5 boats up and running. We'll identify the field for our fans along the shoreline and watching at home with H1 Unlimited through YouTube. The dominant orange boat, checkered flag effect that AJ just mentioned. That's the reliable Diamond Tool, Jeff Bernard pilots out of Kent, Washington. Dominant yellow boat, currently top in points with the verticals. That's the GP15 Stettner Construction Group, Greg Hop chauffeurs out of Lake Stevens, Washington. The white metallic blue craft, that is the Truss Company, presents Miss Renee, the GP17, Dustin Eccles out of Monroe, Washington in the cockpit. Another yellow boat with a little bit more black trim and verticals as well. It's the Ice Harbor Brewery presents Rapid Rabbit, Austin Egret pilots out of Urian, Washington. That is your defending Grand Prix America champion here at the Columbia Cup. And the final boat, dominant white, radical design by Steinecker, driven by Rob Hall out of Sandpoint, Idaho. It's the Hammock Construction Premonition. We are 1 minute and 55 seconds until the start. Michael McDonald, the first time all 5 have hit the Columbia River. Wake up in the try.
If you're not awake already, this certainly will get you out of bed.
Dustin Eccles across the start-finish line buoy, and the Truss Company presents Miss Renee. Once again, Grand Prix America. It is assigned lanes. You have to hold your lane at the start all the way through the exit pin of turn number 1. That's when the overlap can take place. You have to have a full rooster tail to move your boat in or out to put your competitors behind you at a disadvantage. That was given by Chaz Dodge, our inboard referee, at Friday morning's drivers meeting. We are now 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. 1 minute period has begun for heat number 4 of Grand Prix America. Michael, we look to the right. Beautiful sun here in Tri-Cities. Let's hope that American flag stays in that same stance throughout the rest of the day, because right now the water conditions are perfect for racing here on the Columbia River. Brad, what you think? Hop just needs to remain clean, score well. He'll get lane 1 in the Thunder Cup.
Yeah, I think that's obviously the mission here as Austin Egret comes up behind the field. He trailed everybody down here to the lower corner. And right now, down here in turn 1, the conditions are ideal. 20 seconds, Jeff.
Thank you, Brad Luce. Hop in 1, Bernard in 2, Egret in 3, Eccles in 4. Hall to the outside. We are under 10 seconds. We now are 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark and boy, it's going to be close. Austin Eckert led him across the line, but Brad Eccles looks good in lane 4.
Yeah, they are coming down 4 wide here to the corner. Hop with that straightaway speed's going to get down here first again, but Bernard's right with him on the outside, Jeff.
The start is under review. We got a battle off turn number 1. Jeff Bernard, your leader in Reliable Diamond Tool, making a 3-boat length advantage over Greg Hop in the Stettner Construction Group. Eckert in 3rd, Eccles in 4th, Hall in 5th. It was a legal start. In turn number 2, Bernard your leader, but Hop the advantage to the inside, shorter way around. Beautiful side off turn number 2 on the Columbia River in Grand Prix America. And Bernard flies the Reliable Diamond Tool, making a 6-boat length advantage. And right now, Brad Bernard extending the lead.
Yeah, he's starting to open up water. Now he's got clean sailing out in front of him. He'll keep an eye on Hop, who's not going away in that left side rearview mirror. You said 6 boat lengths. He's tightened it up a little bit, Jeff.
And right now, Brad Hop putting it to the wood a little bit more than I thought he would, because all he has to do is score and keep the Stettner Construction Group alive, because he'll guarantee lane 1 in the final. We're halfway through it in heat number 4 at GPA. Bernard's still in front, but Hop is still battling on the inside in Stettner Construction Group. Eckert 3rd, Hall has moved to 4th, Eccles in 5th. Bernard your leader, but you can see Hop gaining ground on the inside, but now Bernard pulls out with the acceleration. 2 complete, 1 to go. And Brad right now will Hop try to test the 79 in turn 1 more time.
It looks like he's going to. Quick check at the top end of the race course. It is Jimmy Molden replacing Rob Hall in the 7. Hop's down here still running hard on the inside, but giving ground to Bernard.
Thank you, Brad. My apologies. Jimmy Malden in the Hammock Construction. 1/2 a lap to go in Grand Prix America, heat number 4, and now Bernard's lead a little bit more comfortable. Greg Hop sent the message, so to say, and hydroplane racing, and Hop is really flying into turn number 2. And now Bernard slowing, Hop gaining, final turn, final lap. But Jeff Bernard will hang on in Reliable Diamond Tool and win heat number 4 in Grand Prix America here at the Columbia Cup. Greg Hop will get 2nd in the Stettner Construction Group. Austin Eckert will cross in the 3rd spot in the Ice Harbor Brewery. Presents Rapid Rabbit. Jimmy Malden, my apologies to that team and the race fans. He's actually in the cockpit of the Hammock Construction Premonition. And Jimmy Malden out of the San Juan Islands of Washington State will get 4th in the Hammock Construction Group. And Justin Eccles had a remarkable start in lane number 4, but settled back in the 5th position, but will score 5th place points. And the Trust Company presents Miss Renee. So some good points right there for the 17, Michael. We'll do the math, but come final heat time, that Richards Racing should be right in the middle of the sandwich in lane 3.
What an awesome start. It was so close that it was under review. And then Greg Hop battling on the inside. That boat was so loose both turns. He did not want to let Bernard run away with that race, and he kept flying the boat, just couldn't catch him.
Boy, I was shocked that Greg ran it as hard as he did. I thought he would press for the first lap, but boy, he kept the hammer down and filled Bernard's left rear window or mirror up with that yellow boat, the Stettner Construction Group. So right now, final heat time, Greg Hop will definitely have lane number 1, Jeff Bernard in lane number 2. The 4 o'clock Thunder Cup in Grand Prix America, it's going to be a battle.
Special thanks to Coleman Oil for our broadcast coverage of the Grand Prix America Series on 610 KONA and 610KONA.com. Waterfallies also wants to thank everybody with the UA Local 598 plumbers and steam fitters and signatory contractors. Our American Radiator pit reporters will be getting reaction from the drivers down on the dock. Amazing racing.
You always get a bit of a clue about who's driving when Rob Hall shows up on the top of the tower and is standing next to me.
It's a dead giveaway. He's not in the boat.
Doesn't tell me who's in it, but it tells me who's not. Jeff Bernard is back here at the dock, and Jeff Ayler, this is an unfair question to throw at you, but I owe you one. talking about the hopper and what's going on and how hard he ran it. And I don't know the answer to this. Where are they in high points and all that good stuff?
Well, right now, the national high points with Jeff Bernard winning that heat, he has 1,135 points. Greg Hopp finishing second in the Stettner construction group right now will have 1,125 points. The final heat of the Thunder Cup will not only determine the winner here in Tri-Cities, but will also determine your 2023 Grand Prix America National Championship high point winner. And right now, Brad Bernard, the two-time defending champion, a 10-point lead going into the Thunder Cup final.
That's pretty tight.
I've got Jeff right here, right now. Ayler was just talking in my ear, Jeff. He's talking about national high points. That is about as tight as it can get as well. But that Hop character you were just talking to was not going to let you have that one easy.
No, after we had that mag problem in that last heat yesterday, we had a 105-point lead. So going in that heat, we only have a 5-point lead in national high points. Just got another 5 points on them, so 10. We want to win the final. That's number one priority. So whatever happens with the championship. As long as we finish within one position of them, we'll win it. But we really want to win the final. For Jonathan, Ready to, Mike Grendel, and the whole team, they've been busting their butt. Scott Krautfeld's made this thing handle like a dream. I'm so lucky. These things can be tough to drive, but ours is damn near perfect. And it's Scott and these guys that put their heads down. My Uncle Mike Weber, our crew chief, keep working to make it better, and it's good. I was a little nervous going up into the first turn. Was in kind of a bad spot, but before we got to the entrance pin, we had a nose on them and made it through there. So we're looking forward to final heat, lane 2. Greg will be in lane 1 again. I'm sure the 12 will be in lane 3 again. So should be an exciting final.
All of us on the shoreline are watching Old Glory up there on top of the bridge, looking at the wind. What's the water like?
Actually, not that bad. The wind's going the right direction across the river instead of up the river, so water's not that bad. And it's supposed to stay this way from what I've seen all day long, but there's going to be gusts coming in and out, so I'm sure it's going to be a little bit rougher come final heat time, but we got a boat ride and a setup that will do it if we can get rid of our bad luck and complete the mission this weekend. That'd be awesome.
You've done it before. You know what it takes. Good luck. We'll talk later on in the afternoon.
Thanks, Brad.
You bet. Jeff Bernard, driver of that GP79 reliable diamond tool.
And Brad, the season kind of changed a little bit because of San Diego's announcement that came out that kind of shocked the hydroplane racing world, because that would have been the final stop for the GPAs.
Absolutely. And what we have here, and what you're talking about, what we have here for the Grand Prix America class, and that Jeff Bernard was just talking about, is exactly what we're going to have next week in Seattle with the H1 Unlimited
Not
class.
only the Gold Cup, but yeah, the championship.
Absolutely. So the championship will be on the line with the biggest trophy in H1 Unlimited, and as I always like to say, that oldest active motorsports trophy in the world.
Up next on our schedule, 9:15 opening ceremonies, and that will be coming here from the Clover Island Inn Crow's Nest broadcast suite at the Brunsman's Memorial Barge. Jeff Ayler, this is a tight race for the final for the Grand Prix Americas coming up later this afternoon.
It's wonderful, but my unofficial calculations, and I'll get with Alexander Eckert later, but Greg Hopp will definitely have lane number 1 in the Stettner construction group, currently with 490 points. Jeff Bernard will be in lane number 2 for the Thunder Cup with reliable diamond tool, 390. I've got a surprise boat in lane number 3, the Hammock Construction, the Rob Hall Bruce Brown entry with Jimmy Malden driving with 265 points. Your defending GPA champion here in Tri-Cities, Austin Eckert, right now in 4th with 225 points. And the Ice Harbor Brewery presents Rapid Rabbit. And on the outside with 215 points will be Dustin Eccles. And the Trust Company presents Miss Renee. And Brad, before I come back down to the pit area right now, Hop lane 1, Bernard in 2. They've raced many times. I think the lanes right now are set in stone for the GPA final. Hopper, though, with that narrow tunnel, he's going to have to get to turn 1 first and hopefully have the right boat links and momentum to keep Bernard on his hip in the final.
Yeah, and you heard Jeff Bernard refer to exactly that. He said he was a little concerned when they came down from the start because Hop was running him so hard, but he was able to get out in front just by a nose when he got to the entrance pin to the first turn down here, and that's what he's got to have. Then he can control the race course, but if he gets down there trailing the field, then he's going to have his hands full getting around Greg, and as they get out of that first turn, then Greg controls the race course. So lots going on. I'm sure, maybe I'm wrong, but I'll still say I'm sure. I think Greg, they usually do. They'll have something, they'll have a trump card up their sleeve. I think what Jeff just saw from Greg Hop and that team is not everything they've got. They'll put the #1 killer combination in. It's going to be a dynamite final.
Brad, thank you. AJ, thank you. Michael, thank you.
Great job, Jeff Ayler.
Thank you. I'll rejoin you at 1:30 for the 2.5 stock. And I didn't do my homework like you before the event on Friday. I met Kyle Davenport in 2.5 stock. He's a fine young driver at age 52.
He is young.
That is young. You're right, Brad.
He's like a child.
That is fantastic. Special thanks on our broadcast again, Coleman Oil, for the coverage of the Grand Prix America on 610 KONA and Local 598 Plumbers, Steam Fitters, Signatory Contractors. Sandy's Trophies, great job with all of the work that you've done. The trophy presentation coming up later this afternoon, thanks to Sandy's in Pasco. Also, a special thanks to those that make this all possible along the shoreline. Pasco Machine, the new patrol boat sponsor. Lonnie's Sign Service out of Pasco, the sign sponsor. Made all of the new signs for the patrol boats. And reminder, for those that are here enjoying the Columbia Cup and STCU Over the River Air Show, when boats are out on the water, when the hydroplanes are out of the pits and out on the course, you need to be on the shore. All of you up on the shore. And when the airplanes, as part of the air show, are performing, you also need to be out of the river and up on the shore. Special thanks to our Shell Sun Markets, the convenient on-the-go stop. Also, All Doors Incorporated since 1984. Derwin Dozier and the crew taking care of your automatic entry systems. 509-547-2158. Tire Factory. They have brands, that is, to fit your budget with financing available, because the best part of your journey is arriving back home, and they know that. Nexon, Yokohama, Uniroyal, Hankook, along with Toyo, Nokian, all available at Tire Factory in Richland, Pasco, Moses Lake, and TireFactoryTC.com. Also thanks to White's Finished Furniture in downtown since 1991. Quality custom furniture built with beauty and value. Visit whitesfurniture.com or stop in downtown Kennewick on Kennewick Ave. Buffalo Brothers, the best hydro fans on the circuit, are in turn number 4 on the Kennewick shoreline. Also, the Clover Island Inn, and coming up on August 6th, next Sunday, a week from today, Sawyer Brown performs. Thunder on the Island, the website to get your tickets, cloverislandinn.com to get your room package. We'll see you on the island. It is definitely an island thing. Also, thanks to our DMZ sponsor, ESCO Electric. Of the Tri-Cities, your local electrical specialist serving the region since 1972. Maybe it's a hot tub that you have in your future. Make sure you have Jerry come out and check everything before you get that hot tub to make sure that you're going to be good to go with the hookup. Maybe it's an EV charging station you need at the house. They take care of panel replacements and more. 509-547-5504 or letsgowithesco.com. At the conclusion of our broadcast, stay tuned for the wrap-up show, the Rooster Tail wrap-up. It's brought to you by Broadmoor RV. Every RV that's sold in the month of July comes with an American flag. Your destination store in Pasco is Broadmoor RV, where the buying season never ends. Also, thanks to American Radiator, keeping the Northwest cool since 1979. They bring us all of the action out of the lamps and pits with our pit reporters. They also will rebuild, recore your radiators. They'll pick up and deliver all across the Northwest. Find out more at AmericanRadiator.com. Hello to Craig, Matt, and everybody from American Radiator. Again, online, AmericanRadiator.com. Forecast calling for a high of 93 this afternoon. Little bit of a breeze up to 10 miles per hour. Weather updates brought to you by Anderson & Zentz Dental. They excel in cosmetic and implant dentistry, preventative care, and more. For a happy smile, it is Anderson, and Zentz Dental. 509-585-2500 and KennewickSmiles.com. Take a time out. More of our coverage of the 2023 Columbia Cup STCU Over the River Air Show, the opening ceremonies, when we come back.
Maintenance and more. Enjoy the STCU Over the River Air Show, and when you're ready to fly, book a lesson or a scenic flight with Bergstrom's. They offer you the sky. Also brought to you by My Place Hotel. Book your stay at the My Place Hotel, Pasco Tri-Cities official hotel sponsor of the 2023 Water Follies Columbia Cup and STCU Over the River Air Show. There are so many businesses that support Water Follies Association that make the boat races and the Over the River Air Show possible. A special thanks to U.S. Local 598, Moose Carpet, and Mustang Sockers, as well as Ben Franklin Transit, Columbia Marine Center, KNDU, McDonald's, R Lumber, and Ice Harbor Brewing Company. Welcome again to the 2023 Columbia Cup and STCU Over the River Air Show. Remember, stay hydrated. Try not to get too ceremonies for the 2023 Columbia Cup and STCU Over the River Air Show. All the fans at Columbia Park and on the Pasco shoreline, we invite you to stand and salute our flag as Miss Tri-Cities Abby Falk sings our national anthem.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we walk.
Yes, put your hands together for Miss Tri-Cities 2024, Abby Falk. Well done. Thank you so much. Racing action continues, and we are on a countdown to the next action on the river. That will be at 10 a.m. The CO Energy H1 Unlimited Heat 2A, Heat 2B from CO Energy at 10:30. More of our coverage coming up from the 2023 Columbia Cup and STCU Over the River Air Show next on 610 KONA and 610KONA.com.
and we're getting close to doing that. We're 1 minute to the 5. The lid is down on Andrew Tate. Buckle up, Tri-Cities. Here we go. It's final heat time.
And a special thanks to HAPO for making it happen. The official sponsor of Summer is HAPO Community Credit Union. HAPO.org, the website. And the HAPO Columbia Cup on the line as we get ready to count it down and send the boats out on the river for the HAPO Columbia Cup finale. Kevin Rounce over in Tire Factory, turn number 2.
I'm waiting for this.
We'll have the best view in the house.
I'm waiting for this to happen. Brad's got me hyped now.
Yeah, but be careful. Awesome. You might need to use protection for your eyes with that Oberto when the sun glints off the metallic paint.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, we are now at 18 seconds to the 5-minute mark. The current is starting to drift the noses out toward the middle. Tri-Cities, here it is. Our Festival of Summer is coming to a pinnacle with the final heat of the HAPO Columbia Cup. 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. 5 minutes. And the first boat to move away from the dock is going to be Brian Perkins in the U-21. Darrell Strong presents Payne West Insurance. He's going to be followed by Tom Thompson. And the Reliable Diamond Tool presents J&D. Those two are out. Here comes Jimmy Shane in the Home Street Blue. Next boat away from the dock is Cal Phipps driving the Oberto, and right behind him is going to be the Orange of Dustin Eccles in 440 Racing. Final heat time. They're all coming over your way, Kevin. They didn't come out all together. They came out kind of one at a time. But either way, it's still a good sight. Now, Andrew Tate is still sitting at the dock. So is Kelly. Here comes Kelly. Kelly is starting to move. Tate has not yet moved.
Yeah, I don't see anything coming out.
Wherever you want to go.
I think he's trying to get it fired up.
Now, he's okay. It's Tate that hasn't moved. But Tate is just now starting to get the nose of the boat pushed out.
Kind of late to the party. Plenty of time in a 5-minute milling period. So coming up the back stretch.
Hey, Brad.
The Mr. Julio.
Brad, could this be part of Tate's strategy? Because remember, in their fourth heat, he took that odd direction into the track where he went in front of like the GP and the 5-liter, and then took that hard turn in. And he's doing it again right now.
Yeah, he is. He's coming up by us to give us a look. They were not thrashing by any stretch of the imagination to come out. And there's a big cheer that goes up here in the sideline. They finally see Andrew come out and join the show.
Jimmy Shane has cut through the Esco Electric infield to the front stretch from the back stretch. Coming off of turn number 4, Buffalo Brothers is the 11 Reliable Diamond Tool J&Ds with Tom Thompson.
Andrew just entered the course down there exiting turn 1.
With the Les Schwab 9.
He's just getting out of the course, and Perkins is just coming out right in behind him, so he's already got a lap in here.
3 minutes, 3 minutes.
Way around from right there, he's going to be early.
Al Phipps, you see Tom Thompson in the 11 parking in lane number 1.
The next boat. 6 Rooster Tail, Perkins. Going to be behind him.
Well, it's all about timing. It's all about position on the course.
Tom Thompson comes down to the lower end here. He is followed in here by Phipps.
Cal Phipps in the 1918 Oberto coming into Tire Factory turn 2. Dustin Eccles flying around the outside. But Tom Thompson again hugging the buoy line right here. But Phipps, the 1918 in the Oberto with that beautiful retro paint scheme.
11 right there. That's the 440 in front of you on the outside.
Pick it up.
Up the top end of the course. Just into U-Pull-It Auto Parts turn number 4 is the 1, Jimmy Shane. Just out of the Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 onto the front stretch, the 9 with Andrew Tate.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
2 minutes to the start. We did have a puff of smoke.
Evans cut the course.
Came down the front stretch, and I want to say that was J. Michael Kelly. He will be the trailer in the Graham Trucking who's coming.
Someone's got to get on there about that.
Andrew Tate is in lane number 1 as they come down the front stretch. Glenn.
You know, Kevin was pointing out that Old Glory is actually starting to furl out on the Blue Bridge.
Yep.
First time this entire weekend I've actually seen it flapping. So the breeze, while it's not a gale force by any stretch of the imagination, has definitely picked up in the last 10 to 15 minutes.
Andrew Tate came down the front straightaway. He was in lane number 1. Then he swerved sharply to the right and moved out to about lane 3. Then he swerved back to the left.
Under 9, warning under 9.
On a bit of a strange maneuver. Keep an eye, Kevin, on Jimmy Shane. Where is he going to poke the blue nose?
He's got nowhere to go.
He's got nowhere to go. The 21's on the inside.
Where's Jimmy?
The 9 is in
He's on the inside way back. They're probably going to let him in there. Don't get too far out.
But Shane might get in between the 9 and the 11 and take lane 3, followed by the Alberto outside of
One, it looks like, but I don't know he's going to have a lane up here.
He's trying to get in lane 1 inside the 11 and the 21, but same thing. I don't know if he's going to get there.
Well, he's got to declare pretty quick. They're running out of real estate.
Whatever lane they're in, when they hit the entrance pin to the corner, that's the one they've got to hold.
So to the top end of the course, and look at going off plane, it's the 11.
30.
Tom Thompson has lost power on the back stretch in the reliable Diamond Tool JDs. He's trying to get it back up, trying to get it relit. For now, he is not going to make the start-finish line at the start of the HAPO Columbia Cup. That is unfortunate. That boat has been just perfect. So you've got Perkins in lane number 1, Tate in lane number 2, Shane in lane number 3, Phipps in 4.
1. Mark.
And then in lane number 5, it's Eccles. And the trailer boat is J. Michael Kelly. Down the front stretch is Shane and Tate leading the way.
And boy, are they close together when they come down here. It is going to be Jimmy Shane get down here first, but he's in lane number 3. Kevin, you got the view.
Oh, the 9 has a lot of air under that boat as he's barely keeping it on the water. They are 3 wide, deck to deck to deck, coming out.
Get it floating. Get it floating. Watch your lights. Get it floating.
Down the back.
Top end of the course. Good news. Tom Thompson has
slow boat in front of you in the turn. You got a slow boat in front of you.
Down the back stretch. Look at that race, deck to deck. Wow, that is incredible. Tate on the inside, just edging Jimmy Shane as they head up into turn number 3. You pull it Auto Parts as Perkins has fallen back a ways. Top end of the course, diving into turn number 3, into turn number 4. It's Tate with the lead with the shorter course. Shane has moved out a little bit wide, hit some rough.
Good start, good start. It is a good start.
Stretch to complete lap number 1. It's going to be Tate on the inside, leading by a half a rooster tail.
1 with a possible penalty.
It's 4th place is Phipps. Down the front stretch, Shane is really flying and trying to catch Tate, but look under the air to the 9. Wow, Andrew Tate's riding it out of the water.
Kevin, they're coming to you. Remember, fans, we go 5 times around.
Absolutely. Tate looking sharp, but they're actually having to deal with the 11 and some of the weight being left by Tom Thompson, who's now not even a half a backstretch or a lead on the 9 as he tries to be at the tail end of the field. But Jimmy Shane now has a challenger, Brian Perkins down.
I got the 11 coming up.
Now, Andrew Tate has a 2 rooster tail lead over Jimmy Shane. You got Jimmy Shane in 2nd place. 3rd place is going to be...
You got 4 boat lengths on Brian.
Darryl Strong presents Payne West Insurance. Inside the...
Swing is stuck again.
Back, and he'll have the short course around the top end in lane number 1. Tate coming off of turn number 4. Buffalo Brothers in the lead, completing lap number 2 in our 5-lap finale. Shane is in 2nd place, but he's 2 rooster tails back. On the inside of Shane, you can see a half a rooster tail back is Perkins in the 21. And Perkins is trying to challenge Jimmy Shane for 2nd place. And look at Cal Phipps on the outside in the Alberto coming up in 4th.
We got the 11 going through the corner down here. Appears to be in 1st place, but he's not. He's behind everybody. Great race for 2nd. Keep an eye on it, Kevin.
Absolutely. Perkins flying through Tire Factory turn 2 in lane 1. Shane, boy, he had it right at the back end of the boat of the 1 was the 20.
Just got 3 boat lengths. Keep on it, keep on it.
Distance here as they go down the back. The Alberto right on their tails.
Need to tell you, we do have a blue flag with a yellow stripe out. That means something will be under review at the end of this race. Top end of the course, it's a good run for Andrew Tate. As you see, he's passing the 11 with Tom Thompson at the top end of the course.
A buoy gone in turn 2.
At the beginning of the race, had to get relit and lost all kinds of time, so he's way out of position now. Oh, walking it back and forth with air under the spot.
4 rooster tails on him.
For Tate in the 9 coming down.
But out of the holes and away from the buoys to watch the lights.
He's actually challenging on the outside, but again, he's a lap down.
Here comes Andrew Tate. Boy, this is all his right now. He's shown some incredible speed. He's at the apex of the corner, coming to Kevin.
Watch those holes.
On this run.
Everywhere.
Absolutely. As they get down here into the slop, Shane and Perkins having to deal with 2 boats worth of water. Oh, Shane gets out of the water with that left sponson before he gets it back down. He's got a rooster tail on the 21 heading down the backstretch.
Boy, the backstretch right now, it's Andrew Tate in the 9, Les Schwab Tire, heading into Upullet Auto Parts turn number 3, and about a halfway back of the backstretch, you'll find Jimmy Shane. That's how far that lead has stretched now for Tate in the Les Schwab 9. Tate at the exit pin. Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 now, coming down the front stretch. Jimmy Shane is in turn 4 and will come out of the exit pin now. There's just too much real estate. And Andrew Tate has run a perfect finale here for the HAPO Columbia Club. The white flag is now out. Final lap for Andrew Tate to claim the HAPO Columbia Cup 2018.
Yeah, he's coming through the corner. We'll call him around the race course. As for the blue flag that Michael referred to, it is the equivalent of a penalty marker. We've got to wait and see what the call is. Kevin, send our leader down the back chute.
Absolutely, Andrew Tate now with nobody in front of him after having passed the 11. Clean water all the way down the back stretch. Jimmy Shane now with a 2 Rooster Tail lead for second place over the 21. As the 21 now maybe has a little bit of a challenge from the Alberto, who's gaining down just a little more than the Rooster Tail headed down the back.
All right, you pull it Auto Parts turn number 3 and a Buffalo turn number 4, and the Buffalo Brothers party people on the circuit having a great time watching Andrew Tate swing out a little bit wide at the exit pin onto the front stretch with the checkered flag out. And Tate bouncing off some wake, was way outside and got way out of shape, but he's going to claim the title and the checkered flag for the 2018 HAPO Columbia Cup.
Checkered flag for the 1, but there's a possible penalty. There's a possible penalty.
Ryan Perkins holding on for a 3rd place finish, even though Cal Pips, who will finish in 4th, was giving him quite a challenge on that final lap. And a 5th place finish will be J. Michael Kelly.
The 9 went under 80 about 4 times.
To get ahead of Eccles, and Eccles has fallen back. He is a lap behind, so that...
Man, I don't know how all of them didn't jump. I'm standing here running the start-finish line.
Out, that means a review, and that means something could change as we wait to hear from the officials.
All right, guys, something happened here on the 1 and the 9, 1 and the 11. Yep, the 1 took the 9, 1 took the 11 plane, and I held on him. He almost went over me.
Now he's still on the course. There are a couple boats that still need to finish the race. One, the 11, hits up at the Buffalo Brothers turn 4 and the 440, which is coming through Tire Factory turn 2. Brian Perkins remaining out there. Not sure why he's still out there, but we'll see. Maybe it has something to do with that blue flag.
Yep, and we will only know when they decide to tell us. So Tom Thompson comes across and takes his checkered flag. You know, I guess he went off plane for quite some time and lost power. You get a warning and you have a certain amount of time to get back up on plane, Brad.
Sorry, I just met my private chauffeur. I am on my way.
Okay, wonderful. But being off plane, could the penalty be on Thompson?
Yeah, I don't know on that. I didn't see anything. The lanes were tight coming down to the first turn. I mean, there was not a lot of wide lane space there, but it looked like everybody got through fairly clean. So, but maybe not.
Well,
so,
and you've got the damage to Perkins' boat.
Yeah, I'm not sure when that happened. I didn't.
Plane on U11 prior to the start at the commitment buoy. U21, 1 minute penalty, hitting and dislodging a buoy, turn 2.
Now to where Andrew Tate will be pulling in. Kevin, maybe I'll throw it back over to you when you saw the boats come around the lower corner on lap 1, was everybody holding their lane? Were they clean?
It sure looked like it here. I didn't see much. I mean, it was the usual people trying to make sure they were where you could get 6 feet, you'll take 5 feet 11 inches and a half. But nothing that looks like it was penalty worthy. But yeah, we'll see.
Jimmy, thanks a lot, guys. Good job down there. Any word on that blue flag, Michael? And don't tell me it's blue?
No, we don't have any word.
Okay.
No
Well,
word
check
just
on
yet,
that.
but we'll head upstairs. You got it down there for a little bit?
Yeah, I've
All
got
right.
it down here with some young man by the name of Andrew Tate. He's got a pretty good smile on his face right now, although that was the first he'd heard of a blue flag. He just wants to make sure it wasn't on him. So, walk me through the start and through turn 1, because it looked like you guys were getting really close.
Yeah, anytime you drive next to Jimmy, you know, we're only going to lead each other enough. And he probably was a little more than generous, and had a little bit of a respect move there. I appreciate it a lot, but we came off the corner neck and neck and ended up getting down to turn 2 first. So after that, he was always there, but that's when you could breathe a little easier, you know.
it seemed like when you got down here to the lower corner on lap 2, he fell back, and it just, from then it was over. It was just a matter of finding clean water and running the boat clean.
It's hard to find clean water out there in the Columbia River when you got 6 unlimited hydroplanes. But yeah, the Lunch Schwab boat ran great. Couldn't do this without those guys, and couldn't be happier for the Jones and Campbells and the rest of the crew. They worked their butts off this year and the years previous. So this is one we didn't have, and we're happy to bring it home.
Yeah, this is a fun one to win. I know you're from back east, but for those of us out in the west, this is one of the jewels to win. As you said, you haven't won it before. I'm going to introduce you to a great big tree down there. It's got just a carload of shade that next summer you get to park underneath, and that's a plus.
Yeah, everyone on the crew, the whole team works their butts off, and I'm sure they'll appreciate it more than me. Unfortunate for them, they're the ones out in the sun all day. I can go hide once in a while and get some shade and AC, so.
Clearly the boat really responded. I know you threw a bunch of combinations at it all week. Did you have this one in the back of your mind for this combination?
It's the first time we ran it all weekend, actually, for whatever that's worth. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not, but it worked. We had a bit of a learning curve there throughout the weekend. Swapping gearboxes, swapping motors, adjusting fuel, moving things around, and propellers, the whole 9 yards. We did everything. So not only did we end up doing well this weekend, hopefully we got a good run at next year.
And I would highly suggest you guys go take whatever you threw at the river in the final, go write that down, and just make sure next year you remember to bring that one with you.
You got it. It worked.
Andrew, congratulations. You are our 2018 HAPO Columbia Cup champion. Got a nice ring to it.
Hey, thank you. Sounds good. Thank you, Tri-Cities.
Thank you, Andrew Tate. Guys, there he is, our winner.
All right, we're hearing,
Brad,
Brad, about the blue flag with the yellow stripe, and a review is going on about possible lane incursion. It would not involve Andrew Tate, from what we've been told.
Thank you. I'm going to go pass that along to Mr. Tate.
Hey, Michael.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, and this is more just, I guess you could say, the passion of the moment. Tom Thompson's crew and Jimmy Shane got into, I guess you could say, an exchange of thoughts down here on the dock.
Okay.
And they've moved it up to the crane. Jimmy was talking about what he was seeing down there on the boat, out on the water. Not saying he cut anybody off, didn't say he cut Tom off, but it seemed like I said they were having a passionate conversation. So I wouldn't be too surprised if the number 1 is involved in that in some fashion.
And
broadcast suite. Thanks to Clover Island Inn here at the Brunswick Memorial Barge. John Mosteller Memorial Start-Finish Line. Breeze picking up, freshening up just a little bit, heading towards our Tire Factory turn number 2, and AJ in the Freedom Equipment rental lift.
Yeah, the wind is about the same, if not just it's a little bit from earlier, a little bit down. But other than that, it feels about like it has.
It feels good.
It's going to be good for racing. It's keeping me cool, that's for sure.
Yeah. This may have been the first morning where you almost wanted to have a hoodie on.
You know, I was thinking the same thing. For a minute there, I almost got chilly, but the sun is definitely it's canceling it out. I'm keeping warm enough.
High of 93 this afternoon, winds to about 10 miles per hour. Weather update from Anderson and Zentz Dental at KennewickSmiles.com. And we should be getting some smiles down toward the Neil F. Lamson pits as we get ready to go racing with Heat 2A from CO Energy with the 11, Jamie Nielsen, the 40, Dustin Eccles, the 3, Jimmy King, and the 91, Andrew Tate.
I just saw a big fish jump. Sorry, I'm doing a quick squirrel. You know, just reflecting before we get into the meat of the heat. Obvious highlights, double down on the Kings, pair of pocket Kings with Bobby and Daddy Jimmy. But also, I didn't realize, I guess maybe it was I wasn't paying attention, but I'm glad you replayed the clip because Kyle Davenport at 52, growing up and watching the race and in the shadow of the Blue Bridge, his dad was the head rescue dive guy.
For 13,
60, I mean, that's extraordinary. And the fact that it's come full circle like that that has to be one of those cathartic type of moments that, you know, you'll never forget that for the rest of your life, and I hope he lives to be 100.
Yeah.
52 and just kicking the dream until it comes true. If that doesn't inspire a kid, I don't know what does.
And wouldn't that be nice if they had the opportunity to combine spring training and testing with the H1s and have another event here?
There you go, bring it full circle, my brother.
Yeah, that would be a great opportunity for another race here, and we'll see what happens in the days and weeks and months to come.
All right, 2A, let's get back to the moment.
Yes, Connell, our folks at CO Energy, Connell Energy. Let's go down to the Neil F. Lamson pits. Brad Luce, Jeff Ayler. I would imagine we've got some boats that are nearing the river or in the river already. Our American Radiator pit reporters maintaining radio silence, at least for now. Well, AJ can see across the river from turn 2.
Yeah, from here it looks like there are 3 boats in the water. Looks like it's hard. I don't have my binoculars out, honestly, to tell you the truth. But
you've got them. I think we've got 3 in the water. We're awaiting the U3, the Griggs presents Ace Hardware. It's pretty much right below us here on the tower. The slings are on it. They just completed starting the motor on the trailer. Everything seemed to look and sound good. They gave thumbs up to one another, so they put the slings on it. It will be dumped in the creek here momentarily. The other 3 boats have been in for probably the better part of 5 minutes. Our 3 turbines on the lower dock.
Any changes to the other 3 boats? Obviously, we know that Jimmy King and Ed Cooper in the group, they had to put in another bullet.
And a long night.
Yeah, and I think they've got a new bullet in the 91, the Goodman Real Estate.
That's right. Andrew Tate wasn't really happy after yesterday's heat.
Yeah, and there was some talk late yesterday afternoon. I heard some scuttlebutt about putting the big motor in. So let's see what happens. They were one of only 2, maybe 3 H1 Unlimiteds that came out and tested this morning. So they put that new motor out and put it on the water.
And Brad, to clarify, it's not actually bigger. It's just one of their better ones?
Correct. Yeah, it's not bigger.
Quick question, Brad.
It's a good question.
Are you surprised that not many more boats took advantage of the testing session this morning? In fact, at least half of the session or more, nobody decided to take a run. Why would that be?
That tells me everybody's pretty happy. And that tells me that they liked what they did yesterday. They're on plan, and about the only thing I think they would go out and test might be then the weather and the water conditions with the change that we've had. But then it can change after they go out and test, and so that will be the first thing they'll do. I would expect these guys will come out and probably run hard up the backstretch especially and see how the boat reacts and get a feel for the wind. They'll want to know what it is, but that tells me the fact that they stayed on the trailer, that tells me everybody's pretty pleased. And nobody wants to break what they've got. They're happy with it, so I think that's a good sign.
All right. Look forward to that.
Yeah, one of the boats that did come out, though, was Tate in the Goodman Real Estate 91.
Yeah, he did come out, and he got introduced to a couple gusts of wind, too. The front of the boat came up a couple times, and I made the comment in Guntersville the last time we saw we're getting watches set here. I think we just got some watches set. But anyway, I made the comment in Guntersville with Jeff Ayler off microphone that it looked like Andrew Tate had a strong boat and a strong motor down in Guntersville, but he didn't have boat ride. Then in his final preliminary heat, the boat just was solid as a rock on the water. And I said, you know, this guy's suddenly moved himself into a real stern competitor here. And then, of course, we had the accident that precluded finishing our final. If he can dial boat ride into that 91, we know it's a good boat. We certainly know Andrew Tate is an accomplished driver. He knows what it takes to win here. He's done it before. And don't be surprised if at the end of the day we're not talking all about an Andrew Tate. We're coming up on 9 minutes and 15 seconds to our start, so we're getting close.
Getting close.
Countdown underway. Somebody was just setting a timer.
That's me, sorry.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
It adds, you know, legitimacy to the synchronization of the broadcast. You just beep away there, brother.
It shows we're really here, you know. We could actually be somewhere comfortable and just watch the video and make the call.
Who says we're not calling it from monitors? What's wrong with you?
Well, that last beep you heard was the 9-minute mark. Jeff was I gave him a job. I said, you go be in the corral and get your watch set at 10 seconds and then bring it over to me, and I'll set mine at 10 minutes, and I'll get mine at 9. So that's where we are. We're 8:30 away from the start of our Heat 2A.
And the precious points that are up for grabs,
Hey,
gotta
Brad,
have them.
Maybe you could tell us out of the Miss Madison team about Goodman Real Estate. Do you have any background on the company? Are they in Madison?
I'm sorry, say that again.
The Goodman Real Estate Group, are they out of Madison?
No, they're out of the Pacific Northwest. He is a commercial real estate development mogul in the Pacific Northwest. He's done just an incredible amount of work in the Tacoma area specifically, but no, he's a Northwest guy.
Awesome.
I met him in San Diego last year. I was talking to some other boat racers, and well, you can imagine that. It was after a day of racing. We were kind of leaning up against a bar having an adult beverage, and there was a gentleman standing there, and it was kind of awkward that I didn't know who this was, yet he was part of the conversation. So I leaned over and introduced myself, and he goes, oh, I'm John Goodman. And really a nice guy. It wasn't what I expected. Of course, I guess I don't know what I expected, but yep, commercial real estate is his game, and he's very active and a big player in that market.
And just enjoys the boat racing and wanted to be a part of it?
Absolutely. Exactly what it is. Boat racing has been his passion for years and years, and he's now stepped up, and he stepped up in a big way here in 2023 versus what they did before. You know, the boat was here the last year, running the last couple of years. We've had the Goodman Real Estate, but this guy does not want to be a number 2 boat on a race team. He doesn't want to be a number 2 boat on the circuit. He wants this boat to win. And I think you don't have to look any farther than the signing of Andrew Tate as the driver to drive that boat. Jeff Ayler, you're from Madison, Indiana. There had to be a pretty good buzz when all of a sudden Andrew Tate was announced as the driver for the 91.
Yeah, fans were excited, and of course 2 new pilots for Miss Madison, but getting Andrew Tate and the Goodman Real Estate, that was a big feather in the cap of Miss Madison Racing. And then the superstar coming up in the sport as well, and Dylan Runney. Fans were excited to see Dylan in the home street boat. So things are on the upside for Miss Madison Racing as far as a racing team. And both drivers, though, still have lots of work to do because of yesterday's finishes. Tate 4th in 1A, Runney 3rd in 1A. So we'll see how things fan out here in 2A and 2B.
And
6 minutes. 6 minutes.
6 minutes. We always remember our dear friend, Debbie Gregory, and we bring it up at this point. Debbie used to walk up and down the pit area, and she would just mutter out loud, points, 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 points. That's all it's here. Debbie, how are you doing? Points, points, points. We just got to. You can't win it unless you're in it, right? And that's how you get in it. You have those points. Lids are down now on our 3 turbine-powered hydroplanes. We're inside 6 minutes, as you said, coming up on 5:30 to the start. Boats can come out. And actually, there's a new rule here this year, guys. There's been some people that are kind of maybe fudging this 5-minute thing in that the boats cannot leave the dock before 5 minutes. Well, some of them have been spooling the motors a little early, and it'd actually be on the move away from the dock at the 5-minute mark to get the jump on anybody. The new rule is you have to have a crew member with a hand physically on the boat at the 5-minute mark. And I see them down there right now. The noses are pointed out to the center of the river. We're inside 5 minutes.
Let them go.
Hey, Brad.
Yes.
Question. So yesterday I heard one of the owners talking about stay away from my driver. What kind of protections? Are they under contract, or can they just willy-nilly change teams when they feel like it?
They are under contract. Okay. They are under a contract, so.
And boats are away for CO Energy Heat 2A.
Dustin Eccles, Flavor Pack. All three of them came out together, but Dustin Eccles gave it a squirt. He's going over, say good morning to AJ. Right behind him is going to be the Legend Yacht Transport, presented by the Trust Company and Jamie Nielsen. Then the gentleman we were just speaking of, Andrew Tate, in the U91, the Goodman Real Estate. Good morning, AJ.
Good morning.
You've already had hydros right in front of you, bud.
The green and blue, Jamie Nielsen coming by, and then Andrew Tate in the gold G coming by. Man, excited for this first heat of Sunday racing right here on the Columbia River.
Is Jimmy King going to answer the call?
Yeah, he's going to answer the call. They're just sitting down there and they're right below us. They still have the lid up. Crew members are reaching over the top of the cockpit, talking to Jimmy in there. Nobody's rushing. They've got plenty of time, as we're still at 3:45 until our start.
Thank you, Brad. Cutting across the ESCO electric infield, it'll be the Goodman with Tate to the front stretch, and the Nielsen in the Legends Trust Company, Legend Yacht Transport.
Gamesmanship there as they're cutting the infield, not so fast.
Yeah, that's really interesting, guys, because back east in Guntersville and in Madison, that's what Jamie Nielsen was doing. He was running up the backstretch, and then he was cutting across the race course and putting himself on that inside lane. This time, Andrew Tate said, no, thank you. I'm going to turn inside of you, and albeit early, as you hear the Griggs Presents Ace Hardware come away from the dock right below us, it is Andrew Tate down here on the inside. He's got Jamie outside of him. Here comes the 3.
3 minutes.
Coming down the front straightaway is Dustin Eccles in the Flavor Pack. And as I said this morning, I do expect Dustin Eccles to put the Flavor Pack in an outside lane.
Andrew Tate going by in the gold G. Nielsen right behind, and here comes Mr. King in the Ace, Griggs Ace 3. Oh, the Flavor Pack coming by now, too. I still love the look of that boat. That is a beautiful boat.
2.5.
Jimmy King on the outside. He's putting the throttle down on that new Bullet. New engine, new Allison.
It sounds more like it should. Like you said, Mike, yesterday, you knew coming down the front stretch here that it just didn't sound right.
He moved way outside during the milling period, and it did not sound at all like it should.
That piston power, you can hear it in the corner. That's kind of why... Yeah, that's what we're expecting.
Look at, we've got another cross of the ESCO electric infield. This time it'll be the 40 Flavor Pack. Dustin Eccles onto the front stretch. Jimmy King a little bit close to Eccles as they come down the front stretch.
And like you said...
Pretty good squirt coming down here. He was on the far outside.
And Brad, you were saying 130, 135 is the mark. You do not want to be on the low end of the course at 135, right?
Yeah, 130. That's my little unofficial mark here. I don't like it. It's 130 right now, and he is at the entrance pin to the corner. Look to see if he doesn't put his foot in it and either give it a squirt and cut the race course or go way wide. Now he's going wide, trying to scruff off some time.
Way early on the backstretch for Jimmy King.
Jimmy King will cut the race course, I would assume. Here comes the two guys in good position, which is Andrew Tate sitting on an inside lane with Jamie Nielsen right outside of him.
But he has to mind the 1 minute rule, which he's just outside of as he comes across the ESCO infield, ESCO Electric.
That's a really good call, Michael. I would say that was a legal maneuver on the clock. Look for him to cut the course down here.
He dove in at 102 and came out at 58.
Right.
Yeah, I think he's okay. Look for him to cut the course down here at the lower end. He did not yesterday, and he ended up way behind everybody. There he goes. You got him, Michael, with 40 seconds.
Yeah, on the inside, Tate in the Goodman Real Estate. Oh, way up at the top end of the course. It's the Flavor Pack. I didn't even see Dustin Eccles way up there with 28 seconds. So Eccles will be in lane 1. Goodman Real Estate lane 2. It'll be Legends Yacht Transport, Trust Company in lane 3. Jimmy King will be in the outside in lane number 4.
15.
Eccles gets the inside lane. He's early. He will not have a lot of boat speed coming down the front stretch. Nielsen's in 3. Goodman Real Estate in lane 2. Jimmy King on the outside in lane number 4.
3, 2, 1. Mark.
Man,
Ooh.
that looked early. Nielsen looked like he may have been early.
He was a
As
little
they come
early.
down the front stretch, Jamie Nielsen is going to be leading into turn number 1 for all doors. The start is under review.
Coming to you, A.J. Nielsen on the outside.
Nielsen's in the lead, but we still got to see the start. Now coming up in second and
It's a legal
place,
start.
It's legal.
It's legal. We have the flavor pack in number 2, and then looks like Andrew Tate just inching after corner 2 to take second place.
Yeah, that race is for second place. My goodness, what fun.
He nailed that start.
Jamie Nielsen, it looked early from here. Wow. Heat 2A from CO Energy. Now the boats on the outside are starting to catch Nielsen.
We got us 3 boats coming deck to deck around the corner, Mike.
Boats on the inside, excuse me. Nielsen's on the outside. Yeah, exit pin at Buffalo Brothers, turn number 4. We've got 3 boats together, and there's Jimmy King. We can see way on the outside. Nielsen, he's got great speed off the exit pin, down to the Mosteller start-finish line, down to all doors, turn number 1.
Andrew Tate is making a move on the inside. The Tater is going to pull up alongside Nielsen. He's a boat length back with the lane position on the inside. AJ 3 wide.
Coming into corner 2, Nielsen barely holding on to the lead with Tate coming in right in second. And then, of course, the flavor pack in third. Mr. King coming in 4th, but making a run on the outside.
The boats are so close together. This is the best racing we've seen on the Columbia River. Jamie Nielsen with the lead. Andrew Tate is in second place. Falling back, Eccles. And it may be Jimmy King that will take over 3rd place on the outside from Eccles. They are really close out there as we get to the top end of the course. It's Tate on the inside in the Goodman Real Estate. Nielsen, Legend Yacht Transport, and Trust Company on the outside. As they get to the exit pin, they are deck to deck. Nielsen is going to start to pull away a little bit. No, it's going to be Tate. Tate with the boat speed to the Mosteller start-finish line, the completion of lap number 2.
Tate put his foot in the gas. Coming down to you, Brad.
Yeah, they are coming down still side by side, about a boat length or 2 between them, but this time it's Tate by 2 boat lengths at the exit pin. Keep an eye on Jimmy King, driving a 3 hard on the outside.
Andrew Tate coming around in 1st place and second. Nielsen right behind him coming in strong. And Mr. King coming in 3rd on the outside. Flavor Pack coming in 4th. Looking good, but lost some speed in turn 2.
Nielsen's going to have a tough time regaining the lead because Tate has run away with it at the exit pin of turn number 4 at the end of lap number 2. Coming out of that Buffalo Brothers turn into the White's Finished Furniture and Hardwoods turn 3. Tate in the Goodwin Real Estate 91 to the exit pin of turn number 4 for Buffalo Brothers onto the front stretch. He's got a half a rooster tail, now a full rooster tail lead over Jamie Nielsen.
And it seems like there's a lot of rough water in lane 1. Everybody's popping outside to try to get a smoother boat ride.
Your winner, Andrew Tate. Wow. In the 91 Goodman Real Estate.
Did you see that one coming?
Jamie Nielsen comes in 2nd. Jimmy King will finish 3rd, and Dustin Eccles a 4th place finish in the flavor pack.
Wow.
You know, you guys talked about him putting in that new engine, and that obviously made a huge difference from his runs yesterday.
Hey, guess what? It works.
Man, I don't know what he found in that exit, at the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 on that lap number 2, right at the completion. But he started to pull away, and that boat moved faster than I've seen it move all weekend long.
It was almost like you're going down the freeway and Grandma's hogging the fast lane at 57 miles an hour. He's like, I've had enough of this. Goes around and away we go. And like you said, within 3/4 of a lap, he had a rooster tail and a half lead. He just found some speed, put his foot into it, and away we go. Nice, nice, great boat race.
We had some conversations on Friday during testing and then subsequent to that during qualifying that we had a little bit of parity in this field. What do you think?
I think it's already a great boat race Sunday, and I'll stick by this. The best is yet to come.
It is. I was a little bit surprised, definitely against my prediction, because I didn't think Dustin would put himself on that inside lane, especially when he got in the flavor pack all the way up to the top end of the race course, and he was early, I was really surprised then to see that he didn't just take it all the way to the outside and wind it up, but he went ahead and stuffed it into that inside lane. Looked like he might have been down a little bit on boat speed. That may have been part of his problem, but the other thing was apparently, once again, listening to you guys, apparently Jamie Nielsen just nailed another start.
Brad, I thought he was early.
Yeah, you said that. You said he looked early, but apparently not. Apparently it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was under review, and then we got it right away that it was a legal start. So you hit it on the head, Brad. Talking about lost boat speed, he was dwarfed at the start-finish line. It was a great tack until it didn't work because he didn't have enough speed at the start-finish line, and I don't think I've ever seen somebody nail the start better. Like Mike said, it looked like he was early to me. I don't know what the criteria is.
Oh, they've got video review. It's there's no question.
To me, it's like the play clock in the NFL. Yeah. You know, when it reaches 0, it depends on who's going to call it. Are you really going to let him get the play off, etc.? I mean, it was that close, and good on him.
It's like the shot clock in the NBA. It's that close.
Exactly.
You know,
they know it.
It's amazing considering the jump that Nielsen had on the start, how Andrew Tate managed to take over that race. You don't normally see that in hydroplane racing.
He had the inside lane, that much we know, but boy,
I'd like to know
that straightaway speed on that.
If the drivers were getting a rough ride on the inside lane, because it seemed like everybody was consistently scooting out a little bit as the race progressed. I don't know if there was a lot of chop on that inside lane. I don't know. So maybe we can get a read on that.
Well, we should be getting driver reaction here with our American Radiator pit reporters shortly.
Yeah, we've got the Goodman Real Estate back here at the dock. I'll have Andrew Tate here in just a moment.
Second place finish, Jamie Nielsen. Third place for Jimmy King, and a fourth for Dustin Eccles at CO Energy Heat 2A.
Guys, this is always one of those fun times down here at the dock between the A and the B section, because there is not, and I guess there is one, but that's about to change. There's only in the Neil F. Lamson pits, the unlimited side, that is not in the water right now. They're all in the water, so it's a little bit crowded here at the dock. We'll get an opportunity to talk to our winner, Andrew Tate, here in just a moment. Is that okay with you? All right, we can do it. There. I'm doing real good. How are you doing? You got it out front, but that Nielsen kid's for real.
Yeah, he had a good start on the outside with some boat speed there. He did a great job too. 2 lanes in there, just enough, and it was a fun race. I had a good time.
You got a in it? Is that what we're hearing from you today?
Something like that. Yeah, we changed something every time we've gone out, but that was the best the U91 Goodman Real Estate's felt here probably since we started making some real progress in Gunnersville. So we're trending in the right direction, and that's all we can ask for. You know, we like I said, we're changing something every time we get in the boat, and that was the best so far. So we're doing something right.
You're doing a lot right. We've been watching the flag up there on top of the bridge. Water conditions and the wind. Is it okay? Raceable?
Yeah, honestly, it was better than a couple laps into testing, which was surprising to me. But I don't know, maybe you just get lost in the competitiveness of racing. You just go as fast as the boat will take you and look at the water in front of you, and whatever's waiting for you is there.
You having a good time?
I'm having a good time. I'm having fun. It's a good start to the day.
Keep it going. Andrew Tate, winner on the water of our Heat 2A. The Goodman Real Estate U91. Andrew, thank you very, very much. Goodman Real Estate is right here with me, guys. It's right below me. I'm going to get out of the way. I walk forward about 30 feet. I find myself standing right next to the U1, the Miss Home Street. Dylan Runny getting the hard hat in place, and he's getting set to go in our Heat 2B. Good luck, Mr. Runny. Have a good run. He gave me thumbs up. Busy place here on the dock right now. It's very good. Craig, I think I stepped in front of you right there. I didn't realize, honestly, until it was too late that you were already down here.
You're the fastest guy in the West. That's why I'm in the West.
There he goes. There he goes. Also got Bobby King. He is standing aboard the U12 Graham Trucking. And oh my goodness, I got one of these unlimited things coming right on the top of my head, and I'm in a bad spot. So I'm going to get out of the way. I made the mistake of walking on the dock toward the only open parking space on the dock. So that's where they were going to stick the 8, the Beacon Electric. It's the only boat right now that is not in the water. It's fun down here on the dock when it gets like this, guys.
A little bit busy, huh?
Oh, it's great. I'm looking to see I got the flavor pack up here toward the end. Second place. Where's Jamie? Where's Jamie Nielsen? I guess
that's kind of what we were wondering. Right.
Oh, well, there's the boat. It's up on the. Let's go see if I can find him up off the dock, and I'll get out of these people's way. Good luck, Bill.
American Radiator Pit Reporters.
Good luck.
Craig West, along with Jeff Baylor and Brad Luce, bringing you all the action from the Lamson pits. Also, Tire Factory turn number 2. Thanks to everybody at Tire Factory. I mentioned this Friday. There was a little incident. Jenny ran over road debris, and we needed a tire service. And immediately they were dispatched from their Pasco store. Got the spare on. We got the new tire ordered. We'll get it on Monday.
You would have never known.
Tire Factory.
Until you gave Tire Factory props, and rightly so, because Jenny is Mike's wife and kind of called him in a panic. She was smart enough not to actually dial. Well, she knows to listen if she's going to dial before, you know, she can talk to you.
Tire Factory's got your back.
Thank you, Tire Factory. Appreciate that. You know, Mike's life became a lot quickly became simpler when Tire Factory got involved.
Well, you know, Mike's a professional, so of course he's not going to answer when he's on the air. She already knows that.
Well, she knows.
Guys, let me jump in here.
It's Brad Luce.
I did find Jamie Nielsen. I hope I didn't interrupt the Brain Trust powwow there.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. That was a heck of a race out there with both Andrew and Dustin. Hope the fans like that. It was a stressful 3 laps, but you know, we gave it everything we had. We're racing against 2 really fast boats down there, but I think that goes to show just how fast this U11 Legend Yacht Transport presented by a trust company really is. So we're here to compete this weekend.
You said that to me yesterday after you won the heat. You said, I'm exhausted. That's a lot of work. You say it again. It's just a testament to the parity and these race boats. You guys are so close.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think fans could ask for anything more. As a driver, it does make it stressful because a lot of it's on our shoulders, you know. Nobody has the real horsepower advantage and can make up for mistakes out there. So, you know, there's a real microscope on the driving and what goes on out there, because any little mistake can really cost you.
Well, there is something that the fans can ask for more, and I'm going to do it on their behalf. We just want you to go back out and do it again.
Can't wait.
Let me ask one other question or make another comment. When the boats came down the front straightaway, as soon as you went across the start-finish line, they says, oh, that's close. He may have jumped. We got legal start as you got to the exit pin. I don't know anything about this driving thing, but whatever timing marks you have, I'd hold on to those. Apparently, that was a beauty.
Yeah, I'm not telling you what those are. They're working pretty good.
I wouldn't either.
Right on.
Legend Yacht Transport, presented by the Trust Company. Jamie Nielsen, you're having a good weekend. Keep it rolling, buddy.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, there he is, Jamie Nielsen, doing a terrific job out on the race course. Yes, sir, Mr. West. What have you got for me?
One of the things that I wanted to add here, Brad, is that I was standing next to the team.
Seem to have lost Craig momentarily. Maybe he'll pop
Here,
back in
he'll
there.
talk right now.
Yeah, we found out that as soon as the team heard that it was a legal start, you should have heard the cheer on the dock.
Oh, really?
Absolutely going crazy. And they were breathing very heavily when they heard Michael make the comment. And then it was like when they heard from upstairs, no, it's a good start. They looked at it, we're good, and they were going crazy.
You don't often see a driver nail the start that closely.
Like that, right.
Well, and it's one thing to put your boat on the start-finish line or just behind it when the clock strikes 0. But the other piece to that puzzle is you got to do it at about $1.85.
Right.
One of the things, Andrew, that I heard, and it was a great question to him, was about the course. And it's important to note that the wind had died down maybe 2-3 minutes before we started that race. It was the first thing I was doing, looking at the flag. Flag was pretty much still, and it's dropped way down.
Yeah, it's getting warm.
Yeah.
So the winner for Heat 2A again, Andrew Tate in the Goodman Real Estate. Second place finish, Jamie Nielsen in the Legend Yacht Transport Trust Company entry. Third place for Jimmy King, Griggs Miss Ace Hardware, and fourth place for the Flavor Pack with Dustin Eccles. Heat 2B, thanks to CO Energy. Coming up next on 610 K1A and 610K1A.com. All right, I'm heading to a restroom break.
Welcome again to the 2023 Columbia Cup and STCU Over the River Air Show. Brought to you by Broadmoor RV for over 25 years, providing support for the community. 25 years, one community. Also brought to you by Bergstrom Aircraft, proud to once again support the Over the River Air Show. This year, of course, brought to you by STCU. Powering the amazing air show aircraft for over 40 years, Bergstrom at Pasco Airport, your local aviation center, offering flight lessons, scenic flights, aerial photography, aviation fuel, aircraft maintenance, and more. Also brought to you by My Place Hotel. Book your stay at the My Place Hotel Pasco, the official hotel sponsor of the 2023 Columbia Cup, Water Follies, and STCU Over the River Air Show. Also brought to you by Sandy's Trophies. Making memories that last a lifetime is what they do. Sandy's Trophies is your Water Follies trophy sponsor. And of course, there are many other businesses without whom the Tri-Cities Water Follies would not be possible, including U.S. Local 598, American Radiator, Mustang Signs, ATI, CG Public House, Coca-Cola, KNDU, Potter Lumber, and Trust Company.
That's what I'm
Thanks
talking
again
about.
for attending the 2023 Columbia Cup and STCU Over the River Air Show. Anytime we have boats on the river or planes in the air, remember, please, do not be in the river. Yeah, we have some fresh kettle corn there. Anyone wants to chew about? Fresh.
broadcast suite, thanks to Clover Island Inn. Michael McDonald alongside Kurt Cartier, Frank Cooper. Also down in the pits, our American Radiator pit reporters, Craig West, along with Jeff Ayler and Brad Luce. Tire Factory turn number 2 in the Freedom Equipment Rental Lift. That is A.J. Brewster.
Good morning.
Broadcast crew. And the winds have lightened up a little bit as we gear up for Heat 2B, thanks to CO Energy. With the 1, Miss Home Street, Dylan Running. Corey Peabody in the 9, Beacon Plumbing. The 8 is Beacon Electric with J. Michael Kelly. And the 12, Graham Trucking with Bobby King. Bobby, in his second race, will be a trailer boat at 5 seconds back.
Hey, double down on your freaking when it comes to a couple of beacons. 1, plumbing, other, electric. Let's get it on.
Yeah, the interesting rematch, though, has made itself readily apparent with Peabody and Running.
Exactly right.
After the incident in turn number 2, right by AJ yesterday.
You can go ahead and say it. You can say it. Sometimes when we touch.
Did they touch?
Did they touch? The honesty is too.
I watched it like everybody else a bunch of times last night. It seems to me like even from the trajectory of the boat, it seems like it bounced off. You know, it seems like they touched it.
It's hard to imagine that they didn't.
It was fun one way or another, whether they touched or not, man. What a great race.
And how about 2A, thanks to CO Energy? That was a fantastic race, too.
Super.
Andrew Tate and the Goodman Real Estate.
Really tight racing, and what a great comeback from behind. I mean, really, from second place, it's amazing Nielsen had that huge lead coming in off the start, and to have Andrew Tate chase him down and eventually take the win that was an amazing feat, honestly.
We have not seen. Looks like we may have a
disqualification.
We
N2
do.
on the 11.
So the 11 had an N2 violation. Brad Luce down in the pits, and N2 will cost big points for the 11. That's really unfortunate for Jamie Nielsen and the Legend Yacht Transport Trust Company entry.
Yeah, that's going to tough blow for them. I was talking to them after I interviewed Jamie Nielsen. Obviously, they were having a great weekend. They were already set up with 700 points from our first 2 heats of competition. Now they are going to sit there with 400 plus the points they got from qualifying. This is really going to hurt them. It's going to set them back a bit here, not only at the Columbia Cup, but they were paying very close attention to the national high point standing, and they were, and that's the operative word there, your leader after that last heat. Tough break for them, and that's the output shaft of the turbine. There are limits to how fast you can turn that output shaft, and they exceeded it for the predetermined amount of time, and it's going to cost them. Coming up on 6 minutes. 6 minutes, 1 minute to the 5-minute gun in 4 to 3 seconds. We're getting ready, guys.
Yeah, and the other thing that will do, move Jimmy King needs points in the Greg Smith Ace Hardware up into second, and Dustin Eccles Flavor Pack, the 40 into third.
You know, it's interesting that Andrew Tate was the guy that put his foot into it in 91. That cleared. No problem. No worries, no hurries.
Yeah.
The disqualifier was the dude that hit the start, right on the mark. And
Gosh, that's too bad.
When it came time to have to chase the G-boat down, sorry about that violation. And that is crushing not having those points. Ow.
It really is. It's a big deal. We're inside 30 seconds to the 5. The noses of our boats are being tipped out toward the center of the bright, beautiful Columbia River here on just what is turning into a gorgeous Sunday morning, and it'll get into the afternoon. 10 seconds to the 5. Guys, if you don't mind, I'll take it down and get them away from the dock. The hands are on the tail sections of the boat. The crew members got to be holding onto it. Mark 5 minutes. Now they can let go and set them free. And it's going to be strong and strong. Coming away first, J. Michael Kelly and teammate Corey Peabody in the Beacon Electric and the Beacon Plumbing respectively are going to come out together. Kelly now gives it a little bit of a squirt in the U8, the Beacon Electric. He will be the first ones. Over to AJ. He's going to be followed by the white, trimmed in blue and metallic. That is Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing. Then it's powder blue and white, the U1 Dylan Ruddy in the Miss Home Street. And at the dock, we are awaiting Bobby King in the U12. They're just now tipping the nose of that boat out toward the river. So, AJ,
J. Michael Kelly in the red, Beacon Electric in first, and then, of course, probably the favorite for this run, I would say Peabody. Nobody's been able to solve the Peabody problem, like Brad said earlier. Third place, moving in right after that, is, of course, the U1 with Dylan Runny and with the home street. What a great day for racing. It seems like the wind has died down a little bit, too. So
agreed. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but if Bobby King comes through and
ESCO Electric incursion into the infield. Sorry, Kurt, but the Beacon Electric making a short course around with J. Michael Kelly to the front stretch.
I want to make sure I got this straight. If Bobby King completes this heat, then it'll be the official's call whether or not he can come back from a trailer boat in subsequent races over the course of the weekend. Is that right?
That is correct, and he is away from the dock. He's headed over to AJ right now as we are 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing also went through the ESCO Electric infield. As the home street with Dylan Runny comes across the Mosteller start-finish line now. J. Michael Kelly, Tire Factory turn number 2. Then you've got the 12, Graham Trucking and Tire Factory turn 2 now.
It's just so interesting that Jamie Nielsen amazing start, all for naught.
You wonder where that may have occurred, you know, where the timing was.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure the data will point that out, and I'm sure they'll take a look at it for sure.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah.
Reminding our fans on the shoreline here that when our boats come out of the pit area, they do not know what lane they will be driving this heat in. That is part of the allure of the 5-minute period, the race before the race. These guys are out there trying to out-finagle the other one, if you will, for their predetermined in their mind lane they would like to have, but they are not assigned. They are still jockeying for that position as we come up on 210. I would expect everybody to go around the top end of the race course, then come down here to the bottom and around one more time. I'm not sure we're going to see anybody cut the race course from where they are right now.
2 minutes. The only boat that knows where he will be on the race course is the 12 on the outside. For now, Graham Trucking with Bobby King. Setting up on the inside will be the Beacon Electric, Beacon Plumbing in 2, Home Street in 3 as they come on what is a great photo opportunity down the front stretch.
This is a nice strategy, I think. You've got those 3 boats basically banking on the timing.
Minute 30.
If they hit the line all at the same time, that could be some sweet deck-to-deck action into turn 1.
Looks like J. Michael Kelly's going to hold on to lane 1. Corey Peabody in 2. Dylan Runny in 3. On the outside will be Graham Trucking. 5 seconds back with Bobby King.
And I like the timing a whole lot better this time. They're headed over to AJ with 110 till our start. AJ?
They are looking good, lining up. J. Michael Kelly, that's got to be scary for everybody having J. Michael Kelly in the first lane, actually, to tell you the truth. Then it looks like it's funny. Bobby King, even though he's on the outside, almost moved into second, but he's way out on the outside lane. And then, of course, you got Peabody and then the home street and Dylan Runny.
How does Bobby King know to be 5 seconds behind? Is it the classic one Mississippi? You know, like you used to in touch football if you were to rush the quarterback?
You set your watch that way.
Okay.
That's a good point, Brett.
Yeah, you set your watch 5 minutes slow, or 5 seconds slow.
Okay.
And that way you still know your timing marks.
Right.
When you do get to dial it up and be on the front line.
So you can still work on that timing mark, just knowing that it's set 5 seconds. That's cool.
Setting up J. Michael Kelly in the 8, Beacon Electric in lane number 1.
20 seconds.
Lane number 2, Corey Peabody.
50.
In the 9, Beacon Plumbing. It'll be Dylan Runny in the 1, Home Street. In lane number 3. On the outside, 5 seconds back, Bobby King in the 12, Graham Trucking. 4, 3, 2, 1. It is a clean start. The boat speed's on the outside with the home street as they come down the front stretch.
Boy, they are tugging together. 3 wide getting down here. Fly on the right side spots. And is J. Michael Kelly going to get down here dead even with teammate Corey Peabody? But Runny's only a boat length back, AJ.
It looks like J. Michael Kelly's holding the lead in turn 2, but Peabody just takes the lead coming through turn 2, and then the home street tight in behind, but still at third coming up.
Look at that turn number 2 for Tire Factory. Corey Peabody taking the lead away from the inside boat, J. Michael Kelly. Coming down the back stretch. It's the Peabody entry in second lane, and he'll dive into White's Finish Furniture Hardwood's turn number 3 with the lead, but on the inside, J. Michael Kelly has the short course around to the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. It's still Peabody with the lead. Peeking on the outside now. That was a really nice turn at the top end of the course for the home street. Falling back in lane number 1 just a bit is J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric. Peabody has the lead. This is going to be a tight one into All Doors turn number 1.
Corey Peabody's still going to here with almost the full rooster tail on Ronnie, but his teammate J. Michael Kelly is on the inside lane about 5 boat lengths back, AJ.
Looking really good. Peabody in first and keeping J. Michael Kelly pinned to the inside of Tire Factory turn number 2. The home street and Ronnie coming in probably almost 1 full rooster length behind in 3rd place. And then, of course, Bobby King coming in 5 seconds behind in 4th.
Watch J. Michael Kelly.
He got pinched a little bit in turn 4 on the last lap.
J. Michael Kelly gaining on Peabody as they dive into White's Finish Furniture turn number 3. Trying to pull even at the apex into the Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. But it's still Peabody with great momentum. Oh, a big hop out of the water that time for the Beacon Electric with J. Michael Kelly hitting a little rough water at the exit pit of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. It's Peabody with the lead by a half a rooster tail as they head down for the final lap.
Yeah, on the left side rear view mirror of Corey Peabody, his teammate J. Michael Kelly, who does not want to go away. He's still back by only about 5 boat lengths. If there's a mistake on Peabody, Kelly's going to be there to advance, AJ.
Bouncing and bobbing through corner number 2, the Tire Factory turn to corner number 2. Peabody in first place. J. Michael Kelly trying to catch up, coming in behind, and the home street and Ronnie in 3rd.
It's a final opportunity on the inside for J. Michael Kelly, trying to reel in his teammate Corey Peabody. It's Electric on the inside, Plumbing on the outside. As they head into White's Furniture turn number 3, can J. Michael Kelly reel him in? At the apex, it looks pretty close as they get to Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. It's still Peabody in the lead and a little bit of rough water and a bobble for the Beacon Electric with J. Michael Kelly. Peabody's holding on to the lead onto the front stretch, and he will take the checkered flag for CO Energy Heat 2B. Second place will be the Beacon Electric with J. Michael Kelly, and a 3rd place finish for the one Home Street with Dylan Runny. Great racing. Lane number 2 gets the win.
The freaking with Beacon. Electric, plumbing, it's a beautiful thing.
Lane 2, that's been probably the best lane all weekend so far, hasn't it?
And now that Bobby King has completed his laps, let's hope the race official allows him up on the line as we move forward this championship Sunday.
Well, reaction coming from the Lamson pits with our pit reporters. Thanks to American Radiator. What a great run out there. And the water, AJ, you hit this correctly. Lane number 1 was quite rough for J. Michael Kelly. He was on the inside, and Peabody had a little bit smoother track.
You know, that's kind of been the trend, right? We've had the guy in lane 2 being able to pin the guy in lane 1 back because he's having trouble with the waves coming around the corner, and that has been kind of the secret for victory.
And it's interesting, we have kind of the overhead shot with the drone as it was coming into the corner, and that very first turn into your turn 2 was kind of when he got the pinch, and J. Michael Kelly, it looked like he had to back off the throttle just a touch to make the exit pin and then get back going toward the back chute, and he just never made that ground up over the course of the rest of the race.
How about that for a good-looking 3-boat start? You could throw a blanket across the 3 of them when they came down that front straightaway, lap 1.
It was almost like they knew that's what they were going to do. They kind of started to set that up as they were coming down the front stretch at about the 130 mark. That, you know, Brad, you're talking about, that's kind of where you want to be, and they all were, and it worked that way all the way down to the top end of the course and down to the start-finish line. Great, clean start, and so you had a terrific boat race deep into that first corner.
Yeah, that was another good race, and we saw teammates with air quotes around it going at it again, and you're never going to be able to tell J. Michael Kelly, you know, back down, let him go. No, that's not going to happen, and Corey knows that. They've been racing each other since they were 9 years old, and it's just what they do. So we've got our Craig West down on the dock. Corey Peabody gets the obligatory bottle of water from his wife. Craig is there. I'm looking for JMK. He just got back to the dock a little bit further. I will grab him
Craig, go ahead.
All right, Corey, it's been a great weekend so far.
Yeah, it's been a good one. That was a great heat race, great win for us. Good position for the Beacon Electric boat 2-8, getting those 300 points. We need him to keep getting some points. Just happy for everybody and happy to be here.
There was some rough water out there in some of the places. You had to fight in one of the turns.
Yeah, it's really rough out there. Some really weird cross rollers going on, so I was heavy on the canard. Just really weird. Once I was out front, I on and off the throttle a ton just to keep safe, but happy to get the 400 points. We needed them, and happy for my teammate to get a second. So going to go back to the truck, see what we can do, and we'll go from there.
And it's a good weekend, too, for your teammates. I mean, the entire racing team, it's fantastic for the two of you.
Yeah, it's great. You know, right now we're both in a points battle, you know, and we need him to score as many points as he can, and myself as well. So it'd be really nice to get us in separate heats. You know, we need that for the big picture of things. So we'll see what happens in this next draw, and hopefully we're in separate heats, but you never know.
One final thing, I think you guys push each other, don't you?
Well, we make each other better, so I learned from him, and look where we are today. So I'm happy to be here, happy to have Beacon Plumbing and Beacon Electric on our side, and proud to be a part of Soaring Racing.
All right, congratulations.
All right, thank you.
There you go. That's Corey Peabody. Now teammate J. Michael Kelly steps in. They embrace, obviously, a good race. Mike, if we can steal you here for a half a sec, we'll let the camera get an angle here. You guys are teammates, but doesn't look like it when you get on the water.
No, I mean, we're out there to, we want to beat each other. You know, it's a nice thing about our team. You know, we're one big team, and, you know, they give us the opportunity. Whoever can get out front, and we can go out and try to win. So, I mean, that's what's nice about this. And love racing against Corey. I got to find a little bit more speed. He's just been on a tear this year. You know, I think he's batting 1,000 when, you know, if it wasn't for his spin out in Madison. So, you know, that's pretty good. So I've got to find a little bit more, but, you know, we did everything we could in that heat. Super proud of the Beacon Electric guys and, you know, my team. And thanks Bill Cahill and Daryl and Vanessa Strong. Just what an amazing day. What a great heat. What a great way to start. Man, I think that was an amazing start with all of us right there on the line. And, yeah, it just, what a rush.
It really was a very good start. You and I were talking about it while we were waiting for Corey to get done with his interview. It was a great start. The fans loved it. You and I have had this conversation before on this very dock. You want to be the quickest one in the pit area come about 4 o'clock this afternoon.
We all do. You know, I think that's what we all are shoot for. And, you know, we got guys that won't stop working. You know, we're not going to just settle for seconds, thirds. Even when we're out front, they're going to keep on working and finding extra speed because the rest of the teams are doing the exact same thing. So we got to try to stay ahead of them, and hopefully we hit it right when it counts.
Boat ride looked great to me. You're the one behind the wheel. How are the water conditions in a boat ride?
It was actually pretty rough out there getting through turns, but man, I felt like my boat ride was great. You know, the boat flies a lot, and in those conditions, I mean, it was good. It wasn't sketchy. It was just perfect ride, I felt like, and just happy with it. So we'll look at the data now and just see what kind of tweaks we can make.
Sounds good. And if all else fails, tell that guy to slow down a little bit.
He's gonna have to. I might have to steal that shiny thing on the back, but I don't know if that would matter. He's on a whole nother level right now, so it's catch up right now, and just proud of all the guys, our team. The hard work in the off season paid off. I mean, you just see the work that they put into Corey's boat and stuff. So just super exciting.
That's what you always say. You're the guy that gets to go out and drive 200 miles an hour. The rest of them is the crew doing all the hard stuff.
Yeah, they do the hard stuff. You know, we get to go sit in the shade and cool down, and while these guys are up there sweating, you know, we're very thankful for them, and love representing them out in the water and driving for them. We're the lucky guys that get to sit behind the wheel and go out there and go fast. So not many people get this opportunity, and just thankful that we get to do it.
Well, and thanks for taking the time, waiting to have this conversation. Keep it going. We're having fun. Fans are just eating this up the beach.
That's awesome. That's what it's about. We got some really fast boats there, lots of boats. So that's exciting. So let's keep it going.
Go get cool. J. Michael Kelly, second place. Corey Peabody. Congrats, man. Very cool.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
All right. Strong. What? No, we already did it. That was my partner, Craig, that talked to you first. I won't make you hang that long on the dock.
Corey Peabody thought he had another interview to do.
He was waiting for you. So Brad, a couple of quick thoughts here. First of all, J. Michael Kelly, my takeaway from his interview, what a rush.
I did. I heard him say that, and I thought, wow, yesterday we were talking to Corey Peabody, and the adrenaline was just oozing out of him yesterday. Same thing. And these guys are all the same.
And then Corey Peabody, biggest takeaway from the interview, need to be in a separate heat from his teammate for points.
Absolutely.
Right on.
It's something I really didn't even consider.
Exactly.
But it lessens the opportunity for the teammates to get maximum points.
Absolutely. And if they can split them apart, then they do at least then have the opportunity for both of them to win, and both of them come out with the 400 big ones that everybody chases. But man, oh man, that was good.
Isn't it funny? The quote that I came away with was, "I was really working the canard."
Yeah, keeping it down.
Exactly. So it's Championship Sunday. No matter what setups that you have, I think the wind is just enough to become a factor to have the cross rollers, which is something that they haven't really had to deal with much at all on this race course in a long time. So that'll be very interesting to see as the chop continues with the activity going. But up next, it's all about the planes, brother.
The STCU Over the River Air Show coming up in a moment. I want to mention that Heat 3A and 3B from Trust Company is coming up at 2:30 and 3 p.m. So that's the next time we'll see the H1 Unlimiteds out on the course. Brad?
No, I was just going to ask our Craig West. We're on our way back here to the tower, and Craig, how's that Corey Peabody guy? You kind of like him. You've been talking about him, saying, I like watching the interview. And that time you got to talk to him, he's a good one.
You know, and he's an exciting guy, but you notice too, Brad, the credit, I think those two guys really push each other. There's a real kinship between the two of them. They want to win, but the best point he made, as we just discussed, is they want to turn around and be, not be in the same heat. They don't want to steal points.
That's it. But if they are in the same heat, get out of my way, because I'm going to go win.
Wow, that was a great race.
Yeah. So we'll turn it back up to you guys, and we'll, instead of looking out across the water, we'll look up above and over it.
STCU Over the River Air Show. Special coverage thanks to Farmers Exchange coming up on 610 KONA and 610KONA.com. Again, in Heat 2B from CO Energy, winner Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing. Second place finish goes to the Beacon Electric with J. Michael Kelly in the 8. Third place, the 1, Miss Home Street with Dylan Runney. And fourth place for Bobby King in the 12, Graham Trucking. And the one thing that we'll wait to find out is about the conversation with the young Bobby King, Graham Trucking driver, and whether or not he will become fully qualified, that being his second heat race.
Well, it seemed like we didn't call his name at all, and that's probably a good thing to just, minds his
stay
P's.
Clean.
Exactly.
Yep.
Mind your P's and Q's, and we'll get you up on the front line. I hope so. I hope the race official deems him worthy, because that would be fantastic. Again, adding to it.
And Bobby was keeping pace just on the outside.
Yep.
And he was just, like you said, running a really safe race, because I can tell he wants to be on that line when next time he comes up.
Probably have a chance to see that later this afternoon at 2:30 or 3 p.m. with 3A and 3B from the Trust Company. Special thanks on our broadcast to our Shell Sun Markets, the convenient on-the-go stop. Looking for a quick market to pick up your morning hot cup of coffee or fresh food for a quick break? Grab-and-go snacks are right there for you at your Shell Sun Market stores. Also, All Doors Incorporated since 1984 with Derwin Dozier with the automatic entry systems. They are the specialists for repair, service, and installation.